Yeah.
We're live.
Hi guys, welcome to THG Christmas live stream with me, Richie, and him, Tim. Incredible.
How do?
What an entrance. What a guy. What an entrance. What a guy. How are you, mate?
Do you know what? I think I found my funny bone.
Was it dinner?
Oh, and customary start to all
Cheers,
mate.
Cheers.
Bonk.
Boop, I need a top up.
Top me up there.
Top me up, boy.
Oh.
Evening. Well, nice to see the comment sections popping off. Mondo Meaty, what's happening? What's happening, Dad?
Hi, Dad.
BO2, Sam Brooks, Carl Baldwin, Mottus von Pops.
There isn't a wild Mottus in the fucking chat room.
What I want Mott to do is, like, if he can, take a screenshot of like this and just like alternate between me and you, like on like 1 week on, 1 week off of his WhatsApp profile pictures.
I still think the best one is Adam. Sorry, mate. You cannot be Adam.
Jamie, what's happening, mate? Long time no see. I did try ringing you the other week, but you just parred me off. So
he does that with everyone.
Yeah,
Bulldozer, Bravo boys. What's up, lads? How are you? JC Media, JMC, Carl. What's up, lads? Mike Marden, hello. Pleasure to grace your acquaintance, young squire. Do you know that Mike owns the most private land in the southeast of England? Did you know that? True fact.
Yeah.
Found out the other day. Do you know, he also is having a yacht built that's bigger than Abramovich's. A brood of bitches.
Does he have a yacht to go to his yacht?
Yeah. He has a helicopter to go to his yacht.
He has a helicopter to go to his yacht, which then takes his yacht to his yacht.
To his yacht, yeah.
And
absolutely. Yeah. Clearly, Chloe's a fan. She changed my name to Buzz something lol. Oh, okay. How are you all? Hope everyone had a fantastic Christmas. Enjoyed that sober, healthy, going to the gym, and other things, other health-related tasks.
Literally none of the above.
None of the above.
I think I gained a few kidney stones though, so that's a bonus.
Were they under the tree? Were they? I didn't realise that they were commonly available on Amazon.
They were. They're not that common. I had to ask for them. I had to ask Santa for them on my list.
Santa, please, can I have a kidney stone?
Please, can you put some stones in me?
Oh my goodness! Right, someone needs to jump on and be moderator. Mott, where are you? Oh, Mott is on it. Right, okay. So here we go. I'm going through. If you've put a swear word in if you've done a naughty word, in the chat room, then it will get blocked until one of the moderators clean it up right there.
Yep. So, how is everyone? Just to reiterate what Tim said, hope you all had a good Christmas. Stuff to the gills, and you all got none of the airsoft kit that you wanted for Christmas. Because I know I didn't. How about you, Tim? Did you get anything nice under the tree?
No.
Nope.
This outfit.
That's a win. That's a win in my book.
Thanks, mate.
Nice.
No, actually, hold on a minute. I did get a very special present, actually, just before Christmas that I didn't know I was getting. But we can't talk about it. Secret, mate. Sorry, mate.
Yes. So it's yeah.
Secret.
You know,
The old fucking handshake. Is it little pinkies? Do you wrap your pinky around you, or do you touch your dick? That handshake, you know, the whole.
I think you put your finger in your foreskin and roll it up.
Oh, those handshakes. Yeah. So you got to get. So if you're one of those that are in that club where you put your finger in each other's foreskin, then you know. Then yes, you'll know what I'm on about.
Oh well, Jamie got COVID for Christmas. Sorry to hear that, mate. Hope.
Congratulations, Jamie. Is it a boy or a girl?
Yeah, I think it was runners-up prize as well.
Sorry.
But yeah, so Tim did get a present from me just before Christmas that we can't tell you about, unfortunately, because it's something to do with our plans for next year. Which
I was very shocked. Very shocked. Richie's first words were, "Tim, how much do you love me?" And I was like, "Oh my god, this is awkward."
Yeah.
Richie's pregnant.
Yeah, it was like it's like when you try and break the news to someone that you're preggers, and you know they're going to leave you.
Although I watched a video the other day on the gram of Insta where this woman hid like a positive pregnancy test under this geezer's pile of waffles, and he got to the bottom of his waffles, thought he'd found plastic in his waffles, and it was a positive pregnancy test, and he was more upset that she had obviously pissed on that test to see if she was pregnant or not, and then put it in his food.
And it was in his waffles.
I mean, who doesn't want a piss-soaked pregnancy test in their waffles? I mean,
got that caramel glaze, bro.
Skinny, what's up, dude? Bobson. There's a wild Bobson.
Oh, and we got Ben here. We got Ben Crawley. What's happening, mate? Long time no see. Love those boys.
Ben's probably used to see me dressed like this as well, sadly.
Yeah. So,
Tribe Milton, speaking of caramel. Paul, you are my favourite person from NSYNC. Out of all of the people that were in NSYNC, you are my favourite.
I just love James Robson has a poo bum.
Well, that one's staying on screen for a little while.
Let's just pin that, shall we? Yeah, thank you, mate.
So, right. Before this gets too wild, we do have something at hand to talk about, which was our visit to Invicta's new site, Blacksite. If you are from Invicta or you are I did promise that I would send you over, and myself and Richie would send you over some feedback in the written form, and not from a half-drunk, intoxicated clown. But we will get some written feedback over. But just for the highlights for everyone else who's interested in going, I didn't even know that they had a new site or what Invicta was. Fortunately, Richie did. And I just got a text saying, "I've booked you onto an event." And I was like, "Oh, that's sweet. Thanks, mate." So, Richie, how did you come across this event? Like, have you done Invicta stuff before? Like, what's the deal?
So, I went down to so Invicta has a site down in Tunbridge, I think near Staplehurst, the Woodland site. I know they've been doing a lot of work there with putting Hescos up and buildings. It's quite. I've only played there once. Quite a good site. Lovely on-site shop. Platoon stores are there. I think pretty much most Sundays. I knew. Yeah, love those guys. So. I knew Invicta from then. We actually did a night game down. I thought that was the one that you couldn't come to. Remember?
It was the one I couldn't come to, and I can't.
One you couldn't come to.
I think I was away.
You was away, and then I went back a few weekends later on like a Sunday game day, and that was the one we did put a video up, a little montage of me putting an FBG 6 over the.
And that's when the geezer shit himself and then started to cry.
That's the one. Basically turned him inside out like that, like one of those little like poppers you used to get in your cereal packet.
It's enough of that.
So anyway, so I follow them on Facebook. Anyway, it come up, I saw it on there, and obviously in the Kent Airsoft group on Facebook, it's come up there, new site, new Blacksite. When I googled where it was, I actually drive past it a fair bit, and so I recognise the building. They have had a few tester days prior to me and you going on Wednesday, just gone. So they have played there a bit. I believe they've done a lot of tidying up. It was in a bit of a state. So when we got there, it was actually quite tidy, wasn't it? I think it was quite, everything was clean. Yeah. Everything was, there was no like bits hanging off. It wasn't like a derelict build. It was quite clean and tidy. So yeah, anyway, booked myself and Tim on indoor site, a few floors, corridors, rooms. Again, we didn't really know the score until you get there. But, and I think a few of the lads watching will touch on this tonight. 350 FPS max, but you're only allowed nothing above a 0.25. Why that is, I don't know. Something to do with a heavier BB striking you.
Some bird called Julie in it.
And rendering Julie. You basically
Oh, Richie, we've lost you. Uh-oh.
Back.
We lost Richie. Ah. Yeah. Gone. It's dead. That's it. Dead. Never coming back. See him gone. Can't do it anymore. If you want to send your CV in for TXG, there you go. Send it to somewhere. Don't know. Who knows? Here he is. Is he back? Is there? Are you back?
We had an intermission.
Sorry, mate. Go on.
Sorry.
Please continue.
Please continue. Yeah. So it was Wednesday night. So it was arrivals at 6, I think. It was advertised 6 till 10:30. So yeah, not sure. Wasn't quite sure what the number's going to be like. To be fair, obviously being a midweek, I know it was obviously like right on top of Christmas as well. But yeah, there was quite a few bodies there. To be fair, speaking to guys at Platoon, obviously I asked how dark is dark in that site. Bear in mind all the windows are boarded up and it is at night. But they did have a few strobe lights kicking about, some cam lights, so it wasn't pitch black. And in all fairness, so many players were running white light that it was always you could always see where he was going. But one of their main stipulations, which I think is a good idea, that every player on site had to have a white light of some description, whether that be handheld, weapon held, helmet, whatever, just for safety purposes. So, which is totally fine by me. Safety is a number one. But yeah, so I met you there, right? I think you got there just before me, didn't you, Tim?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I got there a little bit before and was hoping to sort of sail through unnoticed, in cock and in top, and was just jumped on by one of the marshals, which again, I don't mind, but I think they were really keen on making a good show of the site. And I do like that because it shows they're passionate, but I was a bit like, I just want to be able to make my own mind up. I kind of want to go there and form an opinion. And obviously I hadn't seen any of the videos, any of the promotional stuff, nothing. Like now, before we got there, and I saw the building, and from the front aspect, you're like, fucking hell, like it looks like it could be giant. That's massive, the thing. Yeah. It's like overwhelming thing of scale.
Scale. But yeah, I mean, personally speaking, like from a business point of view, we turned up. It was well signposted. Pulled in. There was a marshal there, all in high vis. Because it was pitch black. You could see him. He had his mask on. took our names, took our temperature. In we went. We basically got ready at our vehicles. I don't know what that was, but they said, get kitted up at your cars, ready to go in, chrono, and basically straight into the safety brief, then game brief. I was like, okay, is what it is. Obviously, if it was absolutely chucking it down outside, I could see that being an issue. But it wasn't, so no biggie. In we went, straight to the chrono. I think Tim went straight through, sailed straight through, which was no problems. I, however, was coming in bang on 369, 370, which obviously is the legal limit in the UK, but obviously they needed 350. So it was a no go for me. So I had to switch to my other gun. No biggie, but just, we're just used to using your favourite. Now, when we walked in, obviously sign in, you can write the little number on your wrist, get a little tattoo. In we went, and that's what you refer to as a number. It wasn't a barcode, nothing like that. Just a number. But obviously that's what they tied you to for chronoing. So once you've gone in a chrono, they tick off your number. All good. Now, the only thing I did find, which was a bit weird, as you come in through the front doors, you sign in, which was all really friendly, really nice, really professional. Signed in, paid your money, but then you've got nowhere to go. The only place you've got to go is glasses on and in through the where technically the weapons are hot, right? So you're in the game zone straight away. So if you do want to come and chill out, take your glass off, you have to basically come outside the building to your cars. And obviously, we were very lucky. Jim and Pete from Platoon, thank you. They tucked us away in a little room round near to them. So we were lucky enough to chuck our stuff there. Privilege. But yeah, I did find that a bit not weird, just a bit annoying, because then because didn't they say to you that if you want to keep your bags in there, you can, right? Is that right?
Yeah, so there's like an the ground floor is an in-game area, and there was a few lads that we knew that were in there, and obviously what they've got is a big sign on the door saying like iPro on and everything at all times. So you're in the game zone getting set up. And the lads had like speed loaders, cans of gas, bangs, and everything like laid out on the top of like a cotton reel, like a big cotton reel.
Yeah.
They were like, can we just leave our kit out? And the guy was like, well, we're going to be playing down here later, so put it away. So, I wouldn't want all my shit laid out on the top of like, a table or cotton reel, whatever. And then guys playing around it just in case, stuff gets knocked off or damaged or whatever, right? Stuff can happen. I found that really weird that you're in the game site, but that's your safe zone personally. Again, we were tucked into this tiny little room. Not that I was that phased, but like the whole COVID shit, you've got 5-6 people squashed into saying the size of someone's bathroom, it's probably 6 by 8 or something like that. It weren't a big room at all. I think that for having space and having guys there that are going to kit up and they want this kind of, and I think Richie will touch on this as well. They want this tactical type of game. They want this tactical type of player. And sadly, and all the guys will probably agree in the chat that like we don't turn up with, our shit on us, a HPA bottle, fucking load of speed loaders and roll in. Guys have got nods, they've got bags, got bangs, they've got fucking cut the guns. Lucky Richie brought his spare. You've got all that additional shit that you're going to take as like a more seasoned player or someone that's there to be a little bit more pragmatic, a bit more like tactical, than just being able to sort of dump a little fucking rucksack full of BBs in the corner. And I just think that for me was a bit like unusual. And if it was me, I wouldn't want to leave my kit in there when you got lads storming in there, throwing bangs all over the place. No. Be damaged, right?
And it's not even about like saying that, because we've got so much kit, Gucci kit, and we have to roll in with pellet cases, and blah blah. It's not even about that. Like even if you just had a rucksack, right, which I think me and Tim are getting quite adept at now. Packing really light, just in one bag, either a holder or a rucksack. In you go. But even still, mate, like everyone knows what fizzy pyro is like, right? That lands on a bag, mate. Like if someone burnt a hole in your bag, like in that sort of game zone, and you were told to leave it there, I would be pissed. I would. you know.
Oh yeah, I mean,
But,
even if you've got your civvies in there, or you're throwing a jacket in there, or spares, or anything, mate. Again, you just don't really want stuff in the game zone. So I found that a little bit odd. One of the things I was warned about with Invicta, and I don't think it was actually by you, Rich, it was by others, like their safety briefs and the way they go into their safety is like really drawn out. So bearing in mind this is a midweek game, we were asked to be on site at 6. So I was hoping to be sort of in and getting stuck in at 7 to play to like 10:30, 10:30. So, and then be off site by about 11. That's what I was thinking. So, 6, everyone's signing in, we're getting rolling. People are sort of beginning to get G'd up. Most people are kitted up because we got asked to get up outside. 7 o'clock comes and I'm like, looking at the watch. Richie's sort of looking at his watch and I'm like, come on, guys, I want to get stuck in. I don't think we started the brief till about 7 p.m.
Yeah.
And it was quite a long brief, but touched on to some key points that I think actually, from a perspective, caused problems a little bit further down the way in the way that they framed things. I'll let Richie explain this because obviously we were talking about it earlier. So
I think and again, me and Tim, we don't always see eye to eye. We're not always aligned on our views. But not most of the time we do. But for me, I thought the safety brief was pretty good. It covered a lot of things, a lot of your basic stuff. So for anyone who's been playing a long time, there's some more site-specific rules. But likewise, for anyone who's an absolute beginner, they'll cover the basics from blind firing to keeping your eye pro. The normal safety, right? But I think you have to do that. I think it's good that there is a clear, concise, not a mumbled, drawn out, hour-long safety brief, but to the point. Boom, 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 boom. Key points. Keep it energetic, right? You have to keep people interested. So for me, that was quite good. But what Tim's speaking about is obviously like this is where I guess we're at for this site. It's called Invicta Blacksite. Okay. Now obviously we went back after going there, watched some of their media, some of their trailers, and some of the footage that they've got to advertise this black site. Now, they even said in the brief, this is a it's a CQB place. We want it to be. You guys want you guys to work tactically around here. We want you to. And what did he say? It was to go as fast as you tactically can. No, fast as you can tactically, which I think is right. Okay, you need to move at pace, but control pace. And I think he even said
like knee slides, fucking hammering around corners, like being not really, not overtly aggressive, because there's definitely that tactically. But what they are not looking for is someone to just steam into a room, spray rounds, and hope for the best to be a 50-50. What they actually want is you to move through there with sort of ethical precision and really be concerned on sort of lack of like loss of life. Like the whole idea is to move through there where you're going to clap someone rather than just what we saw. Well, as we'll get into, the opposite of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think his words were, we don't want any of this. He said, we've got no problem with HPA. He said, but we just don't want any of this speed soft crap. He said, like Tim said, no knee sliding, going in like John Wick and spamming the trigger and this and that. And so I said, I even turned around to him and went, I like that. I said, that's good that he's getting that point across, that it's going to be a tactical site, whatever. So moving to the game brief then. So the game brief was you start off, basically it's a team deathmatch, right? You start at the top floor. Now, to give you an idea on the site, okay, so again, we had no idea till we started to work around the site and figure out where everything was. And it soon became very abundantly clear that the site is, well, about that big.
I mean, we don't always agree. There is always some little cat fights in THG. I think personally you could maybe fold that napkin in half.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. Yeah. I mean
if we would agree to disagree, but I mean, it's.
I'll take that on board. Definitely, mate. You know, it's noted. Noted.
I just popped my outfit. I popped a button on my dress, boys.
Hey. Oh.
You're going to see some
yeah, so it was a very small site. So you walk in the front door, and basically, as you look at it, you have a staircase at either end, okay, going up, and you have corridors going longitudinally. So 1, 2, 3, staircase to staircase, right? There isn't even double doors there. It's open. So you can see, sorry, there is some double doors at one end, I think. So you can basically see staircase to staircase almost. As far as I was aware, there was 3 floors, I think. I do seem to remember him saying there was something about they might have a 4th floor. Yes. But, you know, we was working at the top floor, team deathmatch, you know, get hit, go back to your spawn, the marshal would count the spawns, and after 10 minutes, was it 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
10 minutes, yeah.
10 minutes. You would then go down to the next floor and do the same again. Obviously, the room layouts are slightly different, but the corridor is still the same. And I'm going to say within the first 10 seconds of that game on, we became very clear of what that night was about.
Yeah, 100%. I think, you know, I walked in the front of the building, and I'm walking like down the left-hand edge of the building, and I looked right, and there's one, like Richie just mentioned, you know, corridor that goes, you know, the span of the building. So if we're looking like bird's eye view down, it's all the way through the heart of the building. And I thought that staircase must go up and over, or up and round and into another area, because I could, and I can't say that I can perfectly judge it, but I think it's 30 meters at best, the length of that building. And those corridors, as Richie said, go down the heart of every single floor with rooms coming off of them as they go down. So one team comes up one end, hopefully you can see my hand, and then you come up the other, and there's rooms, you know, bleeding off, but all the way down the center of that building is one open long corridor. And we just walked into a barrage of fucking rounds that people had just sprinted to that first bit of cover and were just hosing rounds. Now, I can't say that. Fuck, how do I say this? I can't say that the volume of rounds is a problem, because I think at times there's definitely value in being able to hose people or hose windows or doors or areas of people. But I think this was a huge problem for me, evidently straight away, that you had players with binary triggers where a pull of the trigger releases a BB, and a release of the trigger also sends a BB. So you can pedal that trigger, and with 2 depressions of the trigger, you're sending 4 rounds. And I know this sounds fucking weird. Dad was trying to explain it to me, but when you have a volume of players, even 3 or 4 players that are capable of doing that on 1,500 drum mags, or 2,000 round drum mags, or 2,500 drum mags, that are on high speed winders, you have a capacity to just fucking destroy a doorway. You've got to get 15 players through like this wide, right, 600 wide, and you've got 4 or 5 players just peddling triggers. Yes, you're not under full auto suppression. I get that, and this was the argument, right? No full auto. Fucking completely understand no full auto. But when you've got 4 or 5 players that just peddling the binary trigger, it just was chaos. You walked into, at one point, like me and Richie looked down, and where guys were illuminating the BBs, like tracer BBs, the floor was literally thick with fucking illuminated tracers. I mean, thousands and thousands of rounds in, you know, sub couple of minutes. These were only 10-minute long games. So, you know, third into the first game, the floor at our end was fucking smothered with people just sat at the back on HPA, you know, peddling a fucking binary trigger. And I just thought instantly, this is going to be a huge problem for the night. You know, because you haven't got the capability of rotating and moving. You've got 2 entry points at either end, and that's your fucking lot. I remember getting hit. Richie got hit. I walked through him in the safe, like past him in the safe zone, and we sort of give each other that look of like, what the fuck is this about? Like, this is not.
So, and obviously, I mean, obviously, me and you, Tim, you know, we had a long gas about this afterwards. We went and got a bite to eat. Because obviously, what we're trying to say is, obviously, how do we get this across, right? That, how do we get this across without sounding like we're bitching? Or we're going, well, they was putting more rounds down, so therefore we didn't enjoy it. Let's make it very, very fucking clear that is not the case, okay?
No.
So, me and Tim had a long gas about this. So, there's a big difference between suppression, okay, which is absolutely fine. If you want to suppress a doorway, crack on. It's brilliant tactic. It works. You know, we've all done it. But what was happening was, guys were, and I kid you not, I haven't got anything to hand, but they had their guns here, right, under their chin or here. They weren't even using sights. None of them were using their sights, irons, red dots, anything. They were just putting so many rounds down in the hope that they would, 1, hit something, or 2, keep your head down long enough that they could walk closer to you to hit you, which didn't take long because it's like, you know, 6 foot and you're on top of each other. But so what the best way we came to describe it was, people were using volumes of very, very inaccurate fire. When I say inaccurate, they're not even using their sights. So they're just aiming down a corridor, just literally like running across a corridor like this. You know, as they're using that in place of skill. So rather than coming to a doorway, like peeking and actually looking at the target and taking that 1 shot or 2, 3, 4 rounds, they wouldn't do that. They were just coming up, like stepping out. And, you know, it just, you think to yourself, well, and like you say, they're all on high caps, all on drum mags. Yeah. So, you know, when we're running high caps, which again, that's our choice. You know, we're not bitching. You know, if we want to, we could run high caps and we could try and.
You say we're running mid caps.
We're running mids. Yeah. So we could do that. You know, again, this isn't us bitching at all. It's about the skill set of the player on the site at that evening was so low, okay, but they used volume of fire to try and make up that skill set. So because they didn't want to pie a doorway and actually stick their head out, they would just like put rounds down like this, like on a corner of a doorway, round down, like pre-firing. Do you know what I mean? All the way around, because they've got the rounds and capacity to do it.
Yeah. You know? I think it's hard to explain because, you know, I think guys, you know, if you're interested in going, you know, I fell in for the marketing. The marketing looked really good. Guys being tortured in chairs, rooms full of intel, like it did. You know, they marketed it as a black site, and when they were talking about guys being really tactical, being really pragmatic, working as a team, and all that sort of shit, like that got me really going. And I was like, do you know what? That's a bit of me. Like I'd like a bit of that. Really clinical. You know, really factoring in the loss of life, right? So. You know, you are working the doors. You're being forced to work hard and work the room so that you can make progress. There isn't a capability to just put your fucking barrel on the door and go and start walking into the room. It's actually, you know, running that door line, taking a little step in, working the first 5 degrees, then working 10 degrees, getting people to start fill you in. And I thought that's what this was going to be. And sadly, I think when you set those expectations and then they're demolished really quickly, it's a bit like, fuck, we know what we're in for here. This is what wants to be a very tactical site that has an audience of people running HPA, running fucking drum mags, there's a guy there with a pistol with a fucking drum mag in the bottom, like one of the big A&K ones. With a HPA tap coming off it, going to a bottle that was fucking like this. You can't see on screen. Probably about this big, the size of my leg, so about 4 or 5 inches. You know, it was a real fucking drama of like, even though I get it, it's not full auto. It's that capacity to be able to put in 1,500 rounds. And I instantly found that like, fuck, this is someone that can just pedal the gun constantly, and
but
without,
again, you don't mind the suppression, right? If it's going to be used tactically. And I think for us, it might have been on the second or third game, we were queued up on the stairs ready to go into the game zone. And these two lads who were obviously there together, one had like a short dot on, and his mate went, "Oh, mate, I don't know you're going to use that in here tonight." And he's obviously trying to dial his reticle down so we don't get seen. He's like, "Oh, it's all I've got." Do you know what I mean? Which is, it's fine if you want to use it, use it. At least you're using something on your gun to aim. And his mate went, "No, don't bother with like sights or scopes. No, I just use my tracers and just walk them in." And at that point, I literally just looked at him. I think me and Tim, because she was just down the stairs, looked at each other, was like, "Wow, this fucking guy."
This fucking guy. I think the site,
but that was the level of skill. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just dog shit.
So another thing that we did is we stacked up with Rupert and a couple of the other boys, and I've done a little foot press on the doorway. So this is the door closed. Hold on, let me just move my sleeves. So I put foot on the back of the door. I've cut the door open about a foot to see if anyone was in the room. I'm fucking striking a bang, one of the Sharpie FBS bangs. I fucking love them. They're one of my new favourite things. I'm just going to see if I've got one in here because I fucking love these things. I have as well. Hold on, guys.
Strike it.
Sorry.
Strike it. Do it.
Fucking love them. These are a Mark V. They're absolutely tiny. They've got a wicked bang to them, and you can put
fit 12 of them in your bum at one time.
You could throw at least 50 in your ass. If you're Winks, you could probably have a box.
Box with box.
Things, right? So I'm about to, and they're heavy enough to get a bit of a like. If you want to throw one in someone's car and set fire to a load of shit, you probably could. Just with a bit of practice, you'd probably get there. So I was running these things. Again, I can't praise these things enough. They're fucking awesome. So I got the door pressed open about a foot. I'm about to dash it into the room. I'm stacked up with 4 other guys. They've all got their guns up. We're like shoulder to shoulder, like trying to do it in a more clinical way. And this other player comes bursting through and just goes into the door. And as soon as they've reached the crease of the door going back, just going on the trigger, gets fucking blitzkrieged by about 4 people that are waiting in the room. And then they've all got strobing torches and fucking 1,000 lumens on. And that doorway, that entrance then has been compromised and is literally, as she's walked out, that doorway is receiving a fucking bucket ton of rounds. But what they've done, or what that player had done in that essence, is ruined that capability of us just creeping that door, dashing a bang in, following it in, and potentially at least making a bit of a move out of this clusterfuck in the stairway. And I politely, as I always would be, maybe mentioned to the player that we were trying to do something that was a little bit more tactical, and what they'd then done was like compromise the doorway. I might have said it slightly less, like a little bit less passive than that, just a little bit.
A little bit.
But it was like the mentality of different calibers of players, and I think that's what ruined it. If you've got guys there that were willing to play that way for the whole night, I think it'd been really fun. I also think HPA's got to go, or if you run in HPA, for example, that you're on low caps. I think if they short stacked every mag, they'd have a fucking blast there. It'd be more strategic, more tactical. I think when you've got guys with fire fucking hawk muzzles and running, HPA on binaries, I just don't think it works. I think the site's
also like numbers in general, right? Just overall numbers for a very small site, I think was too much.
Yeah.
How many people do you think they had there that night?
Fucking, 40? I want to go for 50.
Okay.
I want to go for 50 because I think that staircase was full 2 flights down, right?
Yeah.
And you reckon a flight of steps is about 10 steps. So you've got 4 flights and you've got the little balcony bits in, the fucking turny bits in between. So I reckon about 50. I reckon about 50 players, about 25 players, 30 players outside. That's what I think.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think in summary, is it a good site? It's a really cool site. Really cool site.
Fuck yeah.
The admin side of things, getting people booked on and onto site, really good, flawless. Checking temperatures, names are all there, who you booked in with, how much you paid. Or, that was really seamless, really good. In my opinion, game brief was good. Safety brief was good. I just think it needs to be labelled slightly different. It needs to be like, if they want to run a speed soft site, absolutely, just call it an airsoft site, a CQB site.
Yeah.
Don't call it a black site. Because you've got a guy, like Tim said, you've got guys going in there with, a very different expectation of, some kind of tactical play. When unfortunately, and this isn't the site owner's issue. Unfortunately, it's the clientele, it's the customer base.
Do you know what, mate? I was thinking about this. And you're right, it's not their fault. But if you specified in the rules that we're picking on HPA a little bit, but say no scrap no HPA. Let's just say no
Tyler.
mags, low caps or short stacked mags only. Something like that, like something where you're beginning to set a more tactical caliber of kit. Maximum of 400 rounds on you at one time. I think that's one thing. There was one lad that we saw there that had a plate carrier on that must have been carrying at least 12 magazines, at least fucking 12. He had 2 on his backs over his shoulder. He had fucking 6 stack on the front. He had them all around his cummerbunds. He had them, them quad mag, big fat green pouches. I can't remember what they're called, but like they look like jean material. He had fucking stacks of fucking rounds in him, and he was, one of the play test players. I think if they changed that rule set slightly, they would end up with a different caliber of player there. I think what they want. I think that's what they want. But when you've got a guy laid on the stairs in the safe zone, because the stairs are where your safe zone is, where your regen point is, and the distance between both sets of stairs are open. I don't know if you come back to the safe zone at that point, but he was laid on one of the interim stair points. This like little flat bit in between the 2 flights of stairs, just pedaling a trigger, suppressing the hallway. Is it the right thing to do? Yeah. Are you shooting from the safe zone? Yeah. Does that kind of suck?
A bit. Yeah.
I don't know. For me, I love the site. I love the organisation. You definitely tell these guys have been doing airsoft for a long time. I like how clinical they were with the safety checks on the guns and all that sort of shit, and the number on your hand. All that I totally dig. I just didn't really appreciate. Also, they've got these metal fences that divide the rooms up, but they're about 8 to 10 inches off the ground. So you can see people's feet underneath them. But if you get shot in the feet, you don't take it. So there was a metal fence at the end of one of the hallways that like blocked you being able to essentially shoot into the stairwell. And there's loads of people stacked up on it, and the lights just lit all these feet up. And I was like, fucking sweet. Slapped a load of people in the feet and ankles, but obviously didn't realise that wasn't a rule, that they didn't have to take it. And then they mentioned it at lunch that, if you get shot in the feet or the ankles underneath, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
But what that did give us the capability to do is go into a room, light up all of the fucking metal barrier things, and then I just fucking slid a fucking impact underneath. So I think that's another thing there that caused a bit of an issue. Outside of that, there was only one other thing that bugged me, that night, and it was aside to out of the control of everything. And Richie, from what I know, had an issue as well. So we'll cap this off. We'll round off the Invicta with this as a note. Do you want to go first, or try chime?
Yeah, I mean, it's just it was just a general whinge, really. So obviously, being a CQB site, I'm running 2 SFDIs, one on 9mm, one on 209. So I've got one on my cummerbund, one on my belt. I'm also running a timed BFG on my belt at the back, and 2 9mm police impacts on my right. So I've got a fair few bangs. So we're going through, finally pushing through, and the marshal was very clearly said, I don't want people going in rooms, picking up bangs when you're dead. He said, because it'll interrupt the flow of play. I was like, totally get that. That's absolutely fine. bit, a bit dubious. Of course, it takes someone to be a bit light fingered, and they see a nice shiny SFDI or a police bang on the floor. Go, oh, that's free. The old 5-finger discount. Hey, John.
Yeah, John.
Yeah, John. But yeah, so I was like, fine, whatever, that's cool. So dashing bangs, boom, 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 cracking on. Anyway, went round, found one, picked one up. Once the game's over, and I'm gone through to the corridor where the two more bangs should be. I got my torch on because it's pitch black, searching, thinking, fuck, it's like when people are moving, they just kick the bang and they just slide, don't they? They're just like,
yeah, yeah.
So me and Tim were looking around, looking for these bangs, and the marshal, and we've been a couple of minutes. I'm like, fuck, where are these? And the marshal's going, lads, we're going to start a minute. You have to come back. I was like, but I ain't got my bangs yet. He's like, well, we're going to have to start the game. Fuck's sake. So I haven't got my bangs. My other bangs aren't loaded up. None of my mags are bombed up. So I go down the stairs. I said, Marshal, did anyone pick any bangs up? He's like, yeah, I've got 3 here. I was like, so I grabbed them and I'm walking back. I got to the back of the queue where Tim was. I was like, fucking Marshall had it. I was like, do you know what I mean? Like, if either pick all the bangs up, right, or leave them the fuck alone. Like, don't do half and half, because then you're trying to find bangs where bangs should be and not. Do you know what I mean? Like, either pick them all up or don't. Just leave them. Yeah. Because as a player, you know where they are. Literally, this fucking two-bob dickhead next to me went, mate, just, if you got something to say to a marshal. I said, are you a fucking marshal? He went, I'm a player marshal. I said, all right, I'll tell you then. I said, but we're going to give feedback at the end of the day anyway. I said, I'll tell you then. Because that's what he said to me. He said, well, if you got something to say, it's best to say it to a marshal, not to your mate. I said to him, I'll tell the marshals at the end of the day when we give our feedback. But seeing as you're a player marshal, I'll tell you. So I've already just told you. You've heard what I said, so I've told you. Leave the bangs alone. And he went, oh yeah, no, it's fine. I just thought, if there is a problem, just tell the marshals. I was like, I have. It's done. Just like, so he literally got all like puffy chested about like being this player marshal, and then just wound it back in. I'm like, what? You've asked me to say something. I've told you.
Yeah.
Anyway, it just got my back up, mate. I was like, unnecessary intervention. Like, stay in your fucking lane, basically.
Yeah. So this same guy. Now, from what I've heard, just going to put it out there. There was an understanding that we were going, and that there might have been a little bit of fucking posturing from his perspective, because he knew who we were. Whether this is true or not, I don't know. But someone that knows this guy said, he's normally quite sedate and quite quiet. He might have been just trying to chop in to show a bit of authority on the site. Regardless, at that point, do you know what? It's not needed. Whether Richie was saying it to me or someone else or to a marshal or whoever, I don't think it was fucking needed. The next thing that happens with him is actually with me, and unbeknownst to the shit that he'd said to Richie, like, I didn't realise it was the same guy. So, as ever, every doorway is getting clouted throughout this long sort of spine-like corridor that goes throughout all floors end to end. And I've gone to put a bang out. So I'm just going to fucking grab something so I can show you. So I've got a bang, and I've sort of gone like that to fucking post it out into the corridor, and then my hand has been hit a load of times. At that point, I've got the spoon in, but the pin is out of the grenade. So I've pulled my arm back in after being clouted a few times and thought, fuck, I need to get that pin back in. But in pulling it out and having it around my finger, I bent it, and it's pitch black.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck, I need to get the cunt back in. So I've got my gun, it's on its sling, I've put the fucking light on, and I'm trying to get the fucking pin back in. But
sorry, mate.
Sorry, mate, go on.
Just quickly, just so leading up to this, I'm just round the corner from Tim, okay? And this same player marshal, okay, who I've had the issue with, okay? I'm just tucked in behind this mouse hole in between two rooms. and he's basically opened the door into the adjoining room. So he's behind the door, but you know, you have the little glass panels, so he can see me, right? I'm putting rounds down to stop him coming out and posting this bang, like past the door into my room. But, and this is a good thing about these SFDIs, the one-handed release. So I'm literally just pressed my gun against the mouse hole, still putting rounds down. I've unclipped the SFDI from my plate carrier, one twist off, posted it while still suppressing. Now, he's literally seen the bang come in, and as it's landed, he's continued to throw his one. So I was like, how the fuck does that work? Like,
yeah,
my one lands, and although it's in his hand, he still threw it, unlike Tim.
Yeah.
So at that point, I'm then dead. And this is basically, I'm stood in the corner trying to admin all my shit and stay out of the way. He then comes round. Obviously, I'm then walking out dead. And that's when I get to Tim.
Yeah.
So I come over. Obviously, I've got the helmet light on the 300 on the side. So I put that on to try and help Tim get this pin back in.
So I'm like, mate, I've bent the pin to fuck. So just, you know, like, Dad, I've got a live grenade in my hand, and I've bent the pin, and the pin's like, whack. It's like, I can't straighten it with two hands because I'm holding a fucking, and it wasn't like a little puppy. It wasn't a little puppy grenade like that. It was one of the fucking FBG 6s. So I'm like, can you straighten that? And he's like, yep. So this guy at the same time, he's got a GSR on, but I could hear him lipping off, saying something in the background. I'm like, mate, can you shut the fuck up? Like, got this light on, we're tucked into a corner, we're not stopping anyone's like flow of play. So Richie's got the pin, I've got the grenade, we've got the torch on it, we're trying to get the fucking pin back through. We get the pin back through. He's like, yeah, just do it behind us. I'm like, what? So we've got to walk through where you are shooting out of to fix something that we've done out the way of everyone. Bearing in mind, both the people in that room should have been dead from the fucking SFDI that Richie threw. We're trying to get this pins back in. So he's like, just do it behind us, like getting all aggro and thought, right? As everyone knows, I'm quite a Zen character, super calm, all about just being peaceful. Don't pipe off, don't nip off very often. I just thought I would share a few kind words with Mr. GSR.
Yeah.
Quite close to his GSR.
Encouraging words.
They were encouraging words. They went along the lines something of, don't shut the fuck up, I'm going to pull that thing off your face. I don't get like that with people very often, but it was completely unneeded. He was using, you know, like a level of like unprofessionalism from a marshal that I just thought was unfair. But
it was unnecessary. He didn't have a fucking clue about the situation and what we were doing, right? He had no idea what had gone on or that we'd sorted it.
Dead.
But also, like, if you imagine, we were tucked in a corner of a corridor. Me and Tim were tucked right in the corner of this corridor, okay? Out of all angles of fire. That we were out of the firefight, okay? He wanted us to come across two fucking corridors. Like I say, he said, "Lads, if you want to do that, do it down the corridor. Come out the fucking way. Come to me." And that's when Tim went, "What you?" It wasn't what he said. It was Tim's face. It was something along the lines of, "You want me to come across two fucking corridors of fire, like to do it over there with you?" And I was like, "Oh no, I was like, "Roll." But yeah, it was just stupid, mate. It was unnecessary, and he was gobbing off just for the sake of it. Like, he didn't have a clue what the situation was.
No. Now, what I have heard from people that go frequent the site is he's actually quite a placid dude. He's quite quiet. I think his arsehole started going that there's people there that you know knew what they were doing or didn't, and thought he would pipe off a little bit. But outside of that, do you know what? The owner of the site was really nice there, and the rest of the marshals that were there were really, really lovely. The women on the check-in desk were great. Like, I can't speak highly enough. Player marshal probably had a few too many fucking Red Bulls before he got on site. Whatever. I'd let that pass, right? I mean, everyone gets a bit hyped up at Airsoft. I'm never going to complain about someone being a bit aggressive. You know, me and Richie both play quite aggressively. You know, people can catch us in the heat at the moment. I do like to drop the C bomb quite a lot, and people get offended by that. Winks is always one that cops one. John will always cop a C bomb. Robson will always cop a C bomb, and they just don't take it offensively anymore. So I think in that case, I'm not going to complain about his aggression. What I will complain is the fact that he could see that something was happening. We were just trying to sort something out. You know, yes, I should have just dashed it in the room with him. That was my immediate thought. I spoke to Robson last night about this. He was like, yeah, I've thrown it at them. It was there. And Richie saw me. I was like, I was like, do you know
I think your words were, I'm just going to throw this at the cunt in a minute.
Yeah. I didn't want to get people's backs up. You know, it's the first time we played there. I've never been to Invicta before. I actually really like the whole environment, dynamic, everything. I think I would like to fill it with you lot. So you 66 that are watching right now, if I can pick all of you up in my soft little baby-like hands and take you there, I think we would have a much different game. And I think they're working the creases. That's it.
Yeah. Again, it's early days for those guys at that site. You know, so they are still learning. I just, again, the right customer base, or pistol shotguns, something like that, low caps, where you don't have the ability to just spam a doorway in the hope that you'll hit someone, without using any skill at all.
Yeah.
It's such a good site, and I think that's what me and Tim were so annoyed by, is that it was such a waste of a good site.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm going to say for pretty much most of the guys in the chat now, that know how to work a gun, know how to work an angle, and would love to cut some angles on that site. Do you know what I mean? Clearing rooms, going through mouse holes, posting bangs and this and that. And I think there would be some really, really good play. But unfortunately, you throw some, not walk-ons, but some of their average clientele, and it's just a disappointment,
I mean, the lad was behind us in the safe room, and I don't want to bash about this too much, but I was explaining he's saying I didn't know about it, and he was like, oh yeah, I've got like 9 settings for a binary trigger. He had like a long extended trigger that was, I don't know what that is in human terms, about 6 centimeters long. And he can have a setting on there where on the initial take up of the trigger, it fires a round. On the full depression of the trigger, it fires another round. And then we'll release another 2 rounds on the initial depressive point, the take up, and then all the way when the trigger resets to home. I haven't got a fucking way of describing that any better, but essentially it will release sort of 5.
We got you, buddy. We got you.
Per depression. So, when you are looking at things like that, I get it and I understand it. But you are then at the point of overtly being able to suppress more than like any AEG would with HPA. And again, I get it that it's not full auto, but fuck me, when the rounds are coming at you, I mean, they were hitting the metal in the door frame next to my head as I was trying to pie a doorway. And it's just, rounds breaking on the frame, just splitting all over the place. I wish I'd have taken more photos of what the floor looked like after the first game, because I think people would have got an understanding of just the volume of rounds that are done. If you minimize that and mitigate it by saying 30 rounds, 60 rounds, like me and Richie have done events previously where you short stack a mag. I'm totally down for that, but it makes people be more calculated.
Yeah, and I think you're right, mate, because it wasn't the fact that people were even suppressing for a reason. Like, they were just putting rounds off a door frame, okay, just for the sake of it, because they could.
Yeah.
In the hope that you would just stick out, like half an inch, and they would get that shot, or one of the rounds would hit you. Because, like I say, we've come to a doorway, a few times that night. And just literally gone like this, quickly popped out, and that was it. The doorway just didn't stop taking fire. It did not stop. It was just a constant stream of fire from one player, then another, one player, then another, because they knew someone was there. They just constantly put fire down. So, like you said, Tim, that door is then fucking redundant, because you can't. How can you step out if they've got the capacity to just constantly suppress 24/7 all the time? So yeah. It was an interesting night. I do remember a little conversation along the lines of, Richie, come on, mate. Last game, you're coming in. Absolutely fucking not. No, thank you. Not for me. He would, oh, come on, it'll be fun. So it fucking won't.
Yeah. This again, mate. Richie was like, I'm wrapped up. I was like, all right, cool. I said, look, I'm gonna play this out, and Richie's like, why? And I was like, I just want to form an opinion that I can go back and reflect on. Yeah. We went for food afterwards about midnight, and we stood chatting for about an hour on reflection. And if Invicta or any of the guys see this, I don't want them to feel like this is a fucking knee-jerk reaction from one event. I know that all events are different. I've been to, sites and places all over the place where you can have an event there that's fucking great and have another event there pretty much with the same people there that's fucking shit. So I get it. I don't want them to feel like we're just, spieling out without any forethought. We had a really proper discussion about this because the country, in regards of what Airsoft has available to it at the moment, absolutely needs something like this. A Blacksite, Intel, rooms with stuff that you need to be aware of what content is in that room. Imagine storming a 4-story building with a group of 6 guys and you need to clinically go through there and get something out. Fuck yeah.
With minimal loss of life. Do you know what I mean? You have to
loss of life, absolutely.
Yeah. Which it's not that airsoft mentality when you go, oh, if I get hit, I'll go back to respawn. No, if imagine doing an op where you went into a scenario and if you got clipped, that was it, you was out for the scenario, done. So you're really gonna think then, really think. So again, it's a shame, but hey ho. So Tim, anyway, would you go back?
I would, if they changed the rule set. That would be me. And I'm not being a dick there. This is my stand-up answer. If they mitigated, the capabilities there, so it was more strategic, it was more tactical. I absolutely would go back. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the setup. I enjoyed the clinicalness of the way that people were booked on and the admin side of things. The thing that let it down on that night was the players, and I think the players took advantage of the fact of lack of skill set, the lack of rule set. Sorry. Yeah, what about you?
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, again, love the site. Love how it's organised. Love how it, they get people booked on, and the marshals, unlike not player marshals, the marshals were friendly, to the point. Booking in was really nice and easy, really good. So I love the site. I would go back, but not on like a skirmish day. If it was a pistols and shotguns only event, definitely I'd do that. Yeah. Creep around like nice and slow, mate, with a shotgun or something, because I've not done that before. So yeah, do you know what I mean? Yeah, something like that, or again, I don't know. So I think I would. I'd go back under the right circumstances and with the right people.
Perfect.
Not Winks. We might. He'd probably be banned.
Winks is fucking absolute nightmare. Although we might have some guests. I'm trying to sort it out. As you've seen, I've been fucking with my phone the whole time, so I apologise.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. Guys, I'm going to jump into the comments as well while I add a few people to the stream. Can they see us? There he is. Hello, handsome.
Look at that butt.
Robson, who we got with you?
A bunch of fucking retards.
Well, okay. I mean, that's speaking for yourself, but who else you got there?
Well, I've got this dog, hound. Oh, come on, mate. That was fucking right. So what you showed me earlier?
Paul is definitely still the handsomest man out of the whole group of people I've met.
It's like a penis, only smaller.
I mean, it is the smallest thing I've ever seen. We will have to cut that. I apologise to all the parents that are watching.
It's It's hands down the smallest thing I've ever seen.
If anyone's seen someone who's had their thumbs amputated, I mean, that's what I would go for. Jordan, how are you? You handsome kid. Hello. Yeah. Look at him.
Got some brown sugar.
Brown sugar, baby. Said the leg on the TV.
Love him. Love Paul.
Oh.
Paul should be on the front of Vogue weekly.
Oh my God.
I don't know what that is. I've got Gun Tech with us.
Oh,
well, we're not looking at him.
Hi. We don't want to look at him.
So what happened today then, Robson? A little birdie tells me you all got banned.
I actually get banned.
Well,
we didn't all get banned.
Oh, sorry. Paul's still allowed.
I'm allowed.
Yeah, Paul's the good guy. Good looking.
Sorry. I just pulled the card. Sorry, I pulled the card, and that was it.
Is this a race thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it wasn't hit taking. It wasn't hot guns
or bangs.
It wasn't the bangs. It wasn't the style of play. It was the weight of our BBs.
Is that because Paul's heavier than yours because he's not white?
Exactly,
mate. It's not right, is it? He's allowed, but I'm not. What's going on there?
Yeah. So what were you firing? Cannonballs?
Well, yes. I mean, there were 2.8s, mate. So they go through people, plywood, concrete blocks, the whole lot.
Where's the 2.2? That is, mate.
Yeah, mate. Need to sort that out. Pump action fucking air rifles not allowed anymore.
Yeah, I mean, we all got
okay.
2s. We were well under, but we ran 2.8s, or maybe some of us ran 3.2s. That was it.
Okay.
Yeah, Paul.
And some 3.6s.
Ran 2.8s.
Hello, gentlemen.
Some of us ran 3.2s.
Here he is, the COVID king.
Wink.
So at what point in the day then did you get rumbled, mate?
It was about 2:30, I reckon.
A lot later than we expected.
One of the marshals got hit. Well, allegedly, one of our guys. Oh, that feels like a 2.8 after we mentioned it at Chrono.
What?
That point,
felt like a 2.8.
That 0.03 of a gram. Made
0.03 of a gram is.
I mean, that's something that I detect on the daily. Daily.
Wow. So, did they give any explanation in the brief as to why that's the rule set?
Because people who wear Chinese glasses, I mean, it's against their insurance.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't know. It's weird.
They didn't really give much of
that. Yeah, it was dangerous. It invalidated their insurance. I mean,
okay.
What can you say?
Oh my God.
GGC, mate. That's what I've got to say to that.
GGC. And looks like, Paul's Paul, as usual.
Robson, did you get a lifetime ban? Did everybody get a lifetime ban? I feel like I should have come and joined you.
Wow. A lifetime. That's well, cheers, boys. Well done.
But to be fair, in the Midlands, a lifetime's about 35 years, so.
It's the diet.
Good then.
Merry Christmas anyway, boys.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, check that motherfucker out.
You're out.
Ping.
Look at that face on the whiskey.
Oh, that was shot with a 2.8, was it? Yeah, good. Golden.
Yeah. I was walking through the safe zone at Invicta, and somebody from West Midlands Airsoft put a BB round through the plywood, through the building, travelled down the M25, straight in my glass. Imagine that.
Did a man.
What a cat. I bet it was that John Wilson, the pikey bastard.
Nah, but you know what he's like.
Anyway.
It's a good question.
Oh, did he not stay? I thought he would have been sleeping next to Parky.
Sorry, I'll say, please tell me you boys haven't had Chinese tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Parky's had more than 2 beers.
Was that Parky that came on screen that was smuggling mushrooms earlier?
Oh.
Yeah.
You cannot take him fucking anywhere.
No face, no case.
Honestly, God, it doesn't matter when you've got a helmet as distinctive as that. You're fucked anyway. Like a fucking button mushroom.
It's not fucking right.
Well, he's never going to have kids. That's never getting to a uterus.
Never.
That is
It's not
never
getting
making it
past
anywhere
that
near a uterus.
You leave him alone. He's a grower, not a shower. All right.
He fucking-
No, it's not. Why are you lying?
Why? What?
The only person in the UK with fucking 2 belly buttons.
So, how are you doing there, Winks, mate? How you feeling?
COVID's good. Liquid diet seems to have fixed it.
Seems lost it.
Good lad.
Yeah, not too bad. I literally tested negative day 7, day 8, and I was like, oh, result, Christmas is back on. The missus tested positive 15 minutes later. So, boo, boo.
Fucking Christmas, I'm going out.
Yeah, but I don't see it. I don't know what all the fuss is about. Omicron, no crimbo, COVID, couple of multivitamins, couple of heavy wanks, a walk in the snow, right as rain.
Good as gold.
Chloe's chopped in on Parky's penis, and that's all the comment that come through was poor boy. So, I mean, there you go.
Yeah. Lifetime of singledom.
Someone.
Sorry, Chloe, only joking.
Yeah.
I'm not being funny, but Chloe's got quite a big following. So anybody related to her, so women on Instagram are all going to be going, fuck that Parky guy and his tiny cock.
He's ruined it for himself.
Well, to be fair, Parky, with a picture like that, if you come back on screen, you could probably get tagged in fucking women of Instagram.
He's
a
massive.
It looks like you've got an ever so slightly swollen clitoris.
Go on,
It looks
one
like
at a
a
time,
swollen
kids.
clit.
It's like Jeremy Kyle, one at a time. Share the mic. Go on, Parky. Go on, tell us what. Go again. Oh,
It's quiet now.
are they really small tears?
Small.
Oh, it's thick as fuck, lads. Don't worry. Just carry
Really
on.
tiny.
Oh, sorry, Robson. I thought you were giving us information we weren't privy to.
General knowledge.
Parky, dumb. Really? I had him down as a mastermind contestant. It's a good job. It's a good job he likes me, or he'd probably fucking eat me.
Can we get John on the live stream? Is John still in? John, if you're there,
Come on,
we'd
John.
like to get you in.
You can't see him. There's like a haze. Like a mist. You've got a bit of the camera.
John will evaporate in smoke like a genie from Aladdin.
All you just see is one very small eyelid. Tiny people just piercing through the black cloud.
Right, I'm messaging John now.
Buff, I'm on the mushrooms.
Oi, leave the mushrooms alone, Winks. I'll have less of that from you.
Okay, Billy CBD.
Listen, mate, that's my next sponsor.
Right,
Richie,
get yourself some of that gear. I'll sort you
right,
out.
and actually, why we've got loads of cool cats on the stream. Hey, you cool cats and kittens.
Hey, you cool cat.
Who's in
Kid.
for that reference? What does 2022 look like?
Hold on a minute, I'm going to be sick.
Go on, Richie. Tell me what 22 looks like. Tell me. Go on.
22. That's a long,
22.
way away.
Yeah.
Fucking long way.
Elon Musk is a god that gets
last
worshipped
stream
by
of
people that have
2021.
mechanical penises. Go on, tell me, 2022, what are you saying?
2021. It's going to be a good year.
Good year.
Very soft air.
Honestly, is the soft-headed fucking idiot I've ever met. Yeah, 2020.
No, next year. So
25.
what's it going to hold? Hopefully, mate.
Fuck you, Carl Baldwin. Yeah, wank bag.
Hopefully, first of all, events. I want to get some more events in, as in hosting them, not attending them. I want to get out to some, just some 30 skirmish days, obviously with you, ugly lot. For me, that's a bit of a priority. I do want to do that. And obviously along with that comes gameplay. So yeah, get some dirty gameplay footage with you boys. I want to get that done. Again, like I said, running events, training, some sort of not necessarily ruckus style games, but more sort of like 2-man events, stuff like that. Whether that's marksman, whether that's kill house or whatever, something like that. But also, what else was we going to do? Gun teching. So yeah, we may be tinkering.
I feel like you gave like 5 answers there, and one of them was fake. Thinking, yeah, I'm going to put a warhead in this pistol.
Listen,
mate, I'm gonna build HPA.
I'm going to fit a binary trigger to both my scars.
No,
mate, do you know what the worst thing is? Is that one, now you can see the beers that are hiding behind me that were meant to be off screen.
And above your
two,
head.
all the things that Richie just mentioned are all true.
All true. including running HPA. Look at Robson's face.
Yeah, Robson, can we cut the stream?
Well, listen, have you seen
go back to 2 squares?
Very sad.
Go back to 2 squares. Robson, I'm moving up north.
I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
If they were children, you'd be up for adoption. They would go.
What about you then, Tim?
Homeless.
Good.
You're joining the circus, right?
I wasn't expecting it to come to me.
But I mean, how can you do this and do HPA? They don't go together. You can't be the coolest cats in town and run HPA. If I need to put you in a fucking sleeper hold till your eyeballs pop out your head, until I disconnect your line, stick up your ass, inflate you till you're the size of Parky, and watch you float into the stratosphere, that's what will happen. I'm being mild. It's Christmas. I'm trying to be festive. I'm trying to be telling to you.
Winks, have I ever let you down? Right with
no, but you've got me up a few times.
Well, listen.
Hey.
Greg Polsky says, "Love my HEA."
Look at them shaggy ass tits.
Hey,
can't even fold out the bra material.
Yes. Interesting, Curtin. What's your opinion on this? No, 2022 for me. I've got a few guns to play with.
Yeah.
And thanks, Dad. And so I've got those to do. I would like to partake in hosting some cool stuff for some good people, and also doing media on building stuff.
Things and stuff.
Is that elusive enough? Am I being evasive? Like Robin and his fucking gay background?
I thought you were talking about Batman there. I was waiting for a big kapow and a big fake hand.
Soft spiff.
Bing bong.
No,
you said
go on.
Just know I'm upstairs going hard.
I'm
Bing bong.
And it's hard hat season. Respectfully.
Don't ever disrespect me looking like Matthew McConaughey on morphine. You feel?
Right, Robson, come on, drop us some knowledge. What are you doing? Come on, next year, what are you saying?
Next year is going to be skirmishes at unknown sites, valleys, and support weapons, and full auto, and lots of woodland gameplay.
And 0.36 gram BB.
And yeah, the heaviest BBs known to man.
So a 0.25.
Yeah. 2 5s or 2s, either one will work.
Anything else is obviously classed as a fucking firearm, clearly.
Yeah.
They're totally illegal. Thank you.
Yeah.
I should know.
Come on, who else is in the room willing to share an opinion with Robson? Come on. Paul only plays once every 6 years, so.
I was going to put some input in, but now you can fuck off.
I'm going to keep eating pepperamis and double deckers.
Parky's strumming one out.
He's gone, mate.
He's gone, mate.
He's had half a beer. He's gone. He's outside throwing up egg fried rice right about now.
Yeah, mate, I should be there catching
all
it on
over
face.
somebody in a sleeping bag.
Right, coming in, Winks, send it.
Well, the obvious exception of doing copious amounts of drinking, I like to get together with some like-minded, heavy-hitting maniacs. Smash up. I've been pushing this for last year. I'm determined next year, 2022, that we hit a random skirmish site on any given day and say however many bods you have versus the 10 or 12 of us, and we fucking just absolutely smashed 11 daylights out of whoever is there. Just for shits and giggles. A couple of milsims and probably trying a couple of different sites, and probably I'd say expanding the armory potentially into the designated marksman rifle category. The SOP mod,
you can only run a 2.5 on that. So,
well, the thing is, the SOP mod, Richie, you know you've got a bit of a soft spot for the SOP mod.
Yeah.
She's going to be the donor.
Really?
And become King Clapper. Just for doing CQB, really.
Yeah.
It's not the first time you've been called that, though, is it?
Yeah, 400 FPS and a .12 Bulldog yellow BB with rough out.
Bulldog.
Square BBs.
Bulldog.
Just firing out Rubik's cubes.
he just takes a rucksack full of Rubik's cubes and breaks one off now and again. Click.
Just pushing plastic down the barrel, just long lengths of plastic.
Yeah, nice. Any meal sims in particular, mate, tickle your fancy?
Well, I'm doing SEO in March. I booked on SEO in March. Hopefully against a short, bald guy and a shorter, grey-haired guy and a couple of his mates who are, I don't know, best, the sort of middling to fair players. Probably 249s on each shoulder, those sort of guys. And one of them apparently is like Master Blaster for Mad Max. So Robson's on his back with a whistle.
Combined.
Parky with a big fucking Boba Fett helmet on.
Big fishbowl on his head.
Big Boba Fett helmet.
Who ran Barter Town?
Just sat cross-legged on his head.
So part of the SEO, I spoke to Tim about the boys from So Subject. The Defiant reached out. They extended an olive branch to me. I mean, after 2 years, and said, I don't know why you think you're banned and why you don't get on from us. And I was like, oh, pretty obvious. You were shit then, and we had some run-ins. There was some to-ing and fro-ing, and you put me to bed at 8 o'clock because I was too in character for OP4 because the police were getting fucking drop-kicked for fucking trees. But they've extended an olive branch, and a few of my boys are quite keen to get on that Defiant one early next year.
Nice.
Definitely SEO. Won't be doing Stirling because Broadhead Airline, I don't own any of his G4 Combats, or Bryn Hardbacker won't sell me any nods for 12 grand, and I don't own a micro scooter, Vans, or an ill-fitting t-shirt. If you know, you know. This was a perfect time for somebody to grab a screenshot.
No comment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clown.
So apart from that,
That's a full update from all. That's it. It's all you need.
Yeah, and
that's,
some
your next year, that's your next year sorted.
Yeah, that and some Gen 3 kitchen roll tubes, lensless
eyelids.
Tubeless.
Yeah, apparently some guy from Italy, some spaghetti-legged homo can get me a set.
Own the night.
I am just going through the comments. So
I don't think he could own a broom cupboard.
Send your comments. Come on. Send your questions. Let's fire them up.
What is everyone doing for 2020?
You can ask Paul, who's in NSYNC. You can ask Robson, who has bodied people for longer than everyone else. Or you can ask Parky, who's dead outside choking on Chinese. Winks, Richie, or myself. and we are working on other people to join. If you do fancy joining,
this could be epic.
know.
Some of the questions could be fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, I trust in the audience to deliver some
looking
good
at the
questions.
audience earlier, the chat earlier was fucking
Popping.
Yeah,
I haven't
yeah,
kept up with it at all. Tim's going to build a new Kelly.
Fuck Kelly.
The old one was shit.
That fat bitch is so 2020. That fat bitch is so 2020. She can't even wear a bra properly. Fuck her off. Not interested in that noise. What's she wearing? Fucking stick Tony is fucking Pecret. Fuck off. Is Mondo still in the chat? Mondo, can you see?
Mondo's here.
All this here made Mondo feel emasculated earlier. Mondo sent me a picture of his booze, and he sent me a picture of a bottle of whiskey and a bottle of rum, and I was like, oh, look what I've got. And then 22 bottles of red wine and a Magnum of fucking Shiraz, and he went, I've never felt so emasculated in my life.
Out-boozed.
Do you remember, Tim?
Hello.
Richie.
What's
Vanta.
Is that what I was drinking? Can't remember. I was kind of drunk. Tim,
put it this way: it was enough to send Richie. It was enough to send Richie to the TP in the sky.
Well, basically, it was like a modern day version of pinball, mate. I went bing bong bong off the fucking poles and then fell up a ladder. How do you fall up a ladder?
Richie
I don't know. But I did
Richie
it.
was bing bong before bing bong.
Mate, he was bing bong before bing bong, 100%. What's your thoughts on the Dash GBLS? I shot a load.
Is that Adam?
Shit,
if that's Adam, if that's Adam, tell him to go and fucking run off a bridge with a fucking short noose and a fucking steak knife under his chin. If it's Adam.
No, it's not. It's Stephen Dunn.
And I want an L11992. Fuck off. I don't care. Come out, Harry. Jump in the bath with a toaster. Fuck off. You're not interested. Not wanted. Beat it.
Mate, don't mince your word. Tell us how you really feel.
Swipe left.
Right, Stu Leader. If Robson isn't drinking JD, then everyone has to do a shot.
Oh, I can do that.
I am.
He is. Of course he is. Everyone knows this. Dean, how's it popping, Geezer? Smiley,
James,
Mondo,
too easy.
Jamie, Greg, John.
John,
go and check your Instagram. Ples.
Robson, are you using a mixer in your JD?
Of course he isn't.
Yes, because it makes it last longer, and I'm incredibly tired.
You're a homosexual. You're a fucking polio-ridden fucking victim. What a waste of space. Absolute waste of space, honestly. So far, I keep building you up, and all you do is knock bricks out. You're like fucking.
See you later, boys. Love you.
Bye, Parky. Love you.
Bye, love you. There's no deck this time off Paul. All right, I told him to put it away.
Show me your hairy belly button.
Is Parky seriously leaving? It's not even 10 o'clock, Parky.
Can we please delete that comment
lucky you have to see what I just saw.
What's that? Well, something was bad. Richie took his glasses up. Something annoyed Richie in the comments. The glasses came up.
All I heard was blah blah blah, something P90, and then I felt my dinner came up to that heel.
All of a sudden I've got COVID again.
Yeah.
Listen,
I'm sorry.
I don't approve, but I'm wearing a clown outfit. But I don't approve.
I'm going to do one for Mondo. Mondo, this is for you.
Do a quick drink for Mondo. Big Bob.
This is for you, y'all. Bing bong.
John, finally, well done for checking your phone. Congratulations, you've won a donut.
It's too high.
John's the most active person on the phone ever. He's never got his phone in his fucking hand.
Oh, John?
Yeah. On the WhatsApp, he's constant. Got a guy that no life. His missus looks after him.
That's because he ain't got a fucking job.
Yeah, his missus, he's a fucking house husband.
Oh, he is a house husband. Oh, listen, I'm not hating. I'm joining the club, mate. I love it.
He is what we aspire to be.
I'm impressed.
I'm seriously impressed.
Mondo, that's a little port for you to remember the days at Vanta when we were all normal people.
Excuse me.
Shiny, happy people.
I'll never get that piece of me back again, ever.
Peace out, gentlemen.
You off, mate?
Yeah, see you in the new year.
Miss your face.
Bye.
God bless.
Love you, mate.
Please.
Right. Let's get Lord Lord Weedsville himself back in.
Like Captain Grind.
Who, the older little
Can
Eminem?
we, what's the
Do
what's the
not
link we can
leave
get in,
the chat, anyone. It's not fuzzy. It's not blurry. It's meant to. It's just like a haze. You'll only see it on John's camera. I don't really know what it is.
John's
John
got a
doing it?
John's got a 0.01 megapixel camera.
Sorry, boys. 1 sec. Right.
That's it.
The invite is sent. Right.
Yeah, John's got a 0.01 megapixel camera. That's what it is. It's not that he's covered in smoke.
We've lost the Bobson. Okay. Smiley, what's popping? I'm going to go back through the comments.
Smiley, what is that, my boy? Smiley?
Greg,
Jack?
popping. Ross Chapman, how are you, Sir Bobson?
Mood mounting. Oh, look how hazy I look. Jesus Christ. I look like I've been made out of fucking paper mache.
You do, mate. You look like you've been thrown down some fucking shit stairs.
Well, the thing is, Tim, I'm not an office bod. I'm not a fucking guy who goes to fucking meetings with fucking shirts and ties.
Do I look like an office bod?
This is a stolen laptop I got for John Wilson.
Ow.
Before we jumped on it, I said to Tim, like, because he surprised me with the whole clown outfit.
Who did?
Yeah.
You did. I said to Tim, I think he's got basically his whole loft is just costumes, like Madame Tussauds.
Yeah, he makes different outfits. Buy stuff for each live. Like he makes out like, oh, I'm going to go out and buy this for a. Well, I messaged. We had a chat last night, and my thing for him was, he said, I need costume ideas, and I said, please do, pack cash for Funhouse, but with Daisy Dukes, an outfit and t-shirt, a la Sterling, sweatbands, and just get your missus to draw on a mohawk with a mullet at the back.
That's exactly what he said to me last night. Some of the pictures
I'm trying to picture it, but it's hurting. All right.
Exactly, and that's why it was in my head instantly in a heartbeat. On my own mouth.
Some of the pictures that have come through are absolutely insane. Oh.
Yeah, but
the funniest thing is, Richie, in the same photo, look at you. Hold on.
As this for Mott, is it Mott in it? Mott's taking that. Big Mortis.
Oh, the killer.
Yeah,
so
I think Tim just has a loft full of outfits, right? He says they're for the live streams, but basically it's when he goes out and commits murders on the weekend. He goes out and murders people in different outfits.
John's at work. Look, he's in stacking shelves again.
Check out the Shiners, boy.
John's in the storeroom packing up orders for Amazon.
Well, that wasn't a 0.25, was it, John?
No, mate.
Yeah, John.
No, it was fucking Robson with his 0.4s.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. I'm all right.
Cheers, John.
Got home a little bit earlier than expected today, or not. Yeah, cheers, lads. Hope you had a good Christmas.
Cheers, mate. Oh yeah, I forget. John smokes weed. He doesn't need to do drink.
No. If you're rocking, if you rock less than a 0.32, I can't associate with you.
Because, mate, I think we all know that with the amount of shit that we get going with our guns, like the amount of money you put into your gun, getting it upgraded, and that you're not really going to get an effective, accurate round out with a fucking 0.2 or 0.2. I mean, maybe a little bit more so indoors. Outdoors, mate, nah. Need that accuracy, mate.
I've never known you run your own gun, John. You just take other people's and get the optics smashed
out.
out.
I just nick them. I just nick them. It's cheaper.
Oh, can I use your Vortex? Yeah, cheers. Smash. Oh, sorry, broken. Can I borrow another one? What?
I've done two.
I love it. Oh, Stu's just said scene. That's all Stu said.
What is that Stu Leader, aka Captain fucking Chip Kicker?
Honestly, never seen someone kick
fuck
chips
that guy. I don't know why he hates potatoes so much. Fuck him.
Honestly, fuck potatoes. He's just about that life.
Mate, his leg had a heart attack for 4.5 seconds that night at Camel. Absolute, I'm talking full-blown spasm. And he was having a conversation and was totally oblivious to what was going on.
I'm literally, he wears one of those 360 GoPros, flies over to Ireland, just spends the whole weekend elbow dropping fucking potato fields. Seen him do it, mate. Loves it. Spandex, just the whole time, like, bah! Fuck potatoes. He's not about
dressed as you remember when Jack Black played that Mexican wrestler?
Yeah. Lucho Libre.
Nacho Libre. Stu Libre.
Who fucking hates the potato? Honestly, he's like, oh, Stu, and a baked potato, and he's like, fuck it. Fuck your shit.
I'll never address him as Stuart or Stu ever again in his life. He will always be fucking Captain.
Always, mate.
CCK.
He did disrespect them chips, man. I don't think any of us appreciated that.
Mate, John, do you know what bothered me most? They were good chips.
Yeah, they were good chips.
Those chips had been places, mate.
And it was
been
nearly a whole box, bruv. Nearly a whole fucking box.
Housing.
That's like going to a remembrance parade and ripping the poppies and the medals off a 95-year-old man in a wheelchair. That's what he done.
Yeah, it's a liberty, man. I wasn't happy.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Some good questions have come in.
Fucking warhead in my fingers. It's comfortable.
One of the questions is, who's letting Impact or a tag off in the house as tradition? I'm not sure who's going to volunteer.
Well, I'm not being funny, Tim, but before I came into this stream, multiple people called you out for showing bangs to the camera and not fulfilling your Jamie Britt fucking duties.
Do you know why? I just want to say, because I've done a room out. I'm
sensible.
going to show you what this is.
You're not mentally retarded.
Hold on. Can you read what that says?
Yeah, you've definitely got to let that off, man.
It says that I'm a shite bag.
Is that a Mark? That's a Mark V with a spoon in it.
That's the one, but it's a paint grenade.
Yeah.
It's full of paint.
What is that? It's a Mark V. A Mark V with a spoon.
He got that when him, Richie and Tiny went for a school dinner, and that's what he got as a gift.
Paint grenades. I mean,
Richie got a paintball gun and fucking Tim got a fucking paint grenade.
Listen, at some point, someone's going to be in a room, and they're just going to. That room will get filled with paint. Anyway,
well, let's hope it's fucking
Hobbit. Right, comments. Let's go
Marshall
through this.
Armour. Oh, John, you're not working at the moment, are you?
Huh?
You're not looking for marshals.
Yeah, I'm all right.
He's totally fine.
I'm having a couple months off, mate. I ain't working. Fuck that.
11 o'clock wakes up, gets a
I'm sitting at home and waking up
cup
at
of
about
tea.
10.
Even when you're employed, you're not fucking working, you pikey bastard.
Well, yeah, there is that, mate. You don't hate the player, hate the game, bro. You know what I mean?
So just quickly, sorry, boys. I just want to jump
it's not what you do; it's what you're seen to do.
That's true. Right, just 1 second, Richie. I just want to throw this at you. It says Tango Airsoft just jumped on the stream. Went to Invicta the Blacksite today. Quite a few non-hit calling. Mate got filled, auto, and blind fired. Besides that, the site has a lot of opportunities. So it's not just me and you that have seen that sort of thing. I agree, mate. The site's got a lot of opportunities, but it's a shame. So just
the people, right? I mean, you know, we definitely had some issues with like hit taking. I know you had some issues with people not taking bangs. So you know, it's definitely some issues with the type of player that's on the site, right?
Yeah, 100%. So I just wanted to throw that in there. It's not just.
Can I just ask quickly, Tim? The boy Tango, his mate that was there with him, was it Preacher? If you can put it in the comments, I can't see the comments. Was it Preacher Airsoft?
I don't know. I'll have to ask him.
I know one of them. I know one of them, and I know they two were at that site today because I was going to ask, knowing I was coming on here to speak to you boys about it. But as soon as, literally within 3.5 minutes of the two of you talking about that site, I put in the comment, this place sounds shite. I'm going to avoid it because I'll get banned.
Tango Airsoft, we have some footage as well. Yeah, players are wearing a lot of armour, which indicates the type of player. Yes, it was Preacher.
Armour?
Tango Airsoft.
It was Preacher. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely that, like you say, that type of player that just wants
Tango,
to run into rooms, run down corridors, you know, just running everywhere, spamming triggers, just mega speed.
Hands down, on my life, as soon as the stream started and the conversation got to that site, your face told me I don't want to be there before you'd spoken.
Yeah.
There was repressed stuff waiting to come out, and I was like, nope, that's not a Winks friendly site.
I think, mate, I think so. As we all are, right? When we go to airsoft, we're normally at the front, right? That's what we all do.
Yeah.
So within 20 seconds, mate, because how small the site is, I come up the stairs. I went 6 foot, and I'm into the main corridor. Fucking whack, run across the corridor, switched left-handed. As I popped out, me and this guy have exchanged, and I'm firing. I'm putting loads of rounds down. He just kept putting rounds down, and I took the hit. So within the first minute, I'm out. I'm done.
Yeah.
And I remember walking down the stairs, and I remember just going to Tim and said, "This ain't for me, bruv. This ain't for me."
Mate.
It was just so.
Instant.
And again, another thing we didn't really touch on. I don't want to go on about it, Invicta, but so you might understand what I mean when you have this speed soft mentality, right? Yeah. So we've all been there. You pie a corner, and you go whack, 2 or 3 rounds into the guy. He then fires, right?
Yeah.
Technically, you've got the drop on him because he's taken 3 rounds, you've taken 1. Or you shouldn't have to take that 1 round, right? No. But depending on how sober you are,
unless it's a genuine trade, unless you've reacted instantaneously at the same time. If he's slid around a corner and you've both made instant contact, but when you say if you go whack, and he's in the process of letting that first round go, no, you've hit him first. He's reacting to you.
Yeah. What I mean is you can go, oh, do you know what, mate? Like you know what it's like, right? You get a feel for the player or how they cut that corner. If someone like cut it well, or you'd be like, do you know what, mate? Fucking fair play. That was. I'll probably take that. But as you just said, Winks, there's a fine line between 50-50, right? Very fine line.
Yeah.
So what we found on the night was, because they were wearing so much kit and they had this speed soft mentality, they would come in, you'd exchange rounds, like you'd get the first 3 or 4 on them, and they would just keep firing, and they would keep taking rounds but what they're doing is they keep firing and keep taking rounds until you go, yeah, right, hit.
Yeah.
Because
they're trade off because who can take more hits essentially? Who's going to give up? Who's going to get hurt? Who's going to get hit in a fleshy bit or somewhere which is uncomfortable?
Which you're going to say no, thank you.
I mean, if you want to play that game, then I'll sling my weapon. You can keep shooting me in the plate carrier, in my neck, my face, and I'll walk up and I'll punch you in the throat, and then we'll see who takes the hit. But that's the mentality you're getting because you've got to, who can take more pain? I can take more pain than you, but if I rearrange your face, you're not going to like it. But as you say, that the initial contact from a normal airsoft to a speed softer, if you're sliding around your corner on your knee, you cannot maintain the same point of contact, the same point of aim.
Mate, I don't get the whole knee slide. It don't work.
No.
This geezer did it to us earlier at this fucking West Midlands airsoft, mate. 5 blokes just literally lit him up like a fucking Christmas tree. It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. He just slid into a spotlight and then just got absolutely fucking hammered.
Was he in a wheelchair, John?
It's a shit tactic. No, he weren't. No, funnily enough.
Should have been.
He left him one.
Yeah, so he was by the time he finished.
We've got Stephen Hawking out of there.
But some games are as well.
Again, this was the thing, mate. Like, so for the whole night, like you'd always lose the battle. You'd always lose that firefight because, like most of us, I know Robson's gone now, not including him. We're all pretty honest players, right? But
yeah, John's the least fucking honest person I know.
That's slander.
He makes Urban
Meeker. It's only slander if it's not true.
You make Urban Meeker look like the fucking Pope.
You're lucky half these cunts can't understand you, Wink, so I'd be offended.
John, you're lucky I don't care.
I said he's lucky half these cunts can't understand him, or
I couldn't understand you either.
Oh, these two are 2 steps from a really committed relationship. You just have to deal with it.
I mean, we're swap saliva, just not semen.
So yeah, I don't know, mate. It was just really frustrating. Like you know when you get a good exchange. Like I think there's one point, it was the top of the stairs. Tim got a shot or a bang come in.
Yeah. And
I've got the cover to my right, so I switched to my left hand shoulder, and I can see the torch like strobing as he's coming around. So I basically like walked backwards as he's come round. So I've let him walk into the rounds more or less, whilst trying to keep in cover. And again, I put 3-4 rounds on, and he's just carried on firing. Yeah,
but did you use your sight or did you use your tracer to walk the rounds on?
Well, yeah. But again, the marshal went, yeah, well done, boys. I think it was a good exchange. And I thought, literally, mate, and Winks, you wouldn't have, I don't think any of you boys would have kept your tongue, but on the tip of my tongue, I was like, how the fuck would you know?
Yeah.
Like, one, it's pitch black. Two, were you looking down my sight? No. Were you looking down his sight? No. Shut the fuck up and go. Like, it honestly, mate, like, the inner rage, I was just like.
That's why I said instantaneously from seconds into the video, I knew it's not a site for me to go to. I tried to be reserved I mean, I've mellowed a little bit in the last year or two, but if shit is obvious and blatant, my internal monologue comes out and goes, "You're a cheating cunt," or "You're talking shit," whether you're a marshal or a player or whatever else. I go, or I'll call them and say, "You're going to take your hit." I mean, I've clapped people. You see them running, they run past and they do. Do you know when you catch them? Because I'm a bit of a cunt. I always go for neck and face shots. Pop, 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 and you see that, and you go, "You're not going to call that? No, you didn't hit me, mate." So you had a bit of a tick when you walk past here. You were. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't feign that sort of stuff. And if you're not going to call that,
oil on the road.
Yeah, I mean, well, look at the Splatoon night game when I rocked up you boys for that, and I got in for that last game. You boys had been having some shit.
The one where you fell arse over tip?
Yeah, like 9 seconds. Because I made the mistake of following this old bastard.
You don't follow him, mate. He ain't got the knees no more.
Yeah, he's no knees, but he was fucking zoomed in, and I'm like, Richie knows he's going. I was like, I'm just patrolling behind him, eyes up, see no white light. I was like, Richie knows the layout, and I went arse over tit straight over a fucking fallen branch. And Richie like,
brilliant.
And Richie looked back and he went, "Are you all right, babe?
You all right?"
I was like, "Yeah." I said, "I'm good." We get up to the thing, and then Richie whispers in my ear, "It's like, mate, the whole night we've been getting backlit by white light. The whole night we've been getting backlit by white light." Hopefully not this time. What happened to Richie? Me and you were like, we'd walked in front of a fucking lighthouse.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, we might as well leave.
It's like these people that do it, do they not look when they light it and see people's shadows stretch across the whole
you should
floor
tell me.
think,
you were back there with them. You were back at the barrels watching us.
You get shut up, you dickhead. But it's true though. Like, it's just common sense. Like, surely you would see it and realise how much you're giving away.
It's that thing that we were talking about earlier: skill set and ability. Know when to use it, when not to use it. Get forward, be at the front, push, take the initiative.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, it was really good because obviously, like I said to you, the site itself, it was dark, but not dark enough to use nods. Like, literally, you could put it on and you'd walk 6 foot and you have to put it up again. So we ended up taking them off and just running white light in the end. But
yeah,
like you say, mate, it was quite good to get back to using white light. Because again, a couple of times I caught myself like where they have like the door frame here, and then my torch would be here. So you'd get that little bit of splash off the door frame, come back. So you're like, fuck, right. Half inch forward, flush with the door frame. And, you're not, what I mean? But it's little things like that. It's just, it's getting back on the bike. It's getting back on the bike again. Do you know what I mean?
If you've got somebody feathering a binary trigger, do like literally.
Yeah.
And I said it in the comments here, is that 0 skill, 0 ability. If I had a 1,500 round mag and I could stand there and go, "So what are you doing at the weekend? Yeah, good night. Yeah, I'll plan for Christmas." Flat out, mate. I've got the family.
Where's Tim?
0 skill.
Zero skill, I think.
0 ability.
He's died.
And that's the same for me. I'd rather go, which is why I like the events that we sometimes go to, or when I go to ruckus events or a similar standard. There's an expectation, but there's a competency where guys, they don't just go. They can look away and they've got a butt plate here in their chest and they're going, or they're looking helium stock. And
that's it.
You're playing the bagpipes for a minute.
What the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean?
Can you play the bagpipes?
You hit them in the face with a tag 67. I might do some damage. It might not.
Yeah, but this is the thing, mate. And me and Tim had this conversation a few times where, if we all rocked up at one site, well, I'd like to think we're all pretty much. I'm not going to say same skill level because that'd be wrong to say. It'd be unfair on Robson because he's not as good as us.
Well, I mean, only one of us has got. Only one of us has got.
He's trying though.
But I think you're right, Winks.
Most people are doing
It's a
that.
certain level of competency and expectation of you should act and handle your gun and move in. It's like a base requirement, right? It's like a minimum sort of set level. So, but I would, me and Tim were saying, like, are we expecting too much? Are we?
I don't think
because
so.
we've
almost
had
being
it before.
elitist. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think so. I really don't. I think there's a base level where you expect where, unless you come up against a group of guys who are literally day one, week one, getting into it, and they've either got two tones, it's a second or third game, they're maybe not au fait with the sight, they don't really know what they're doing, they're just fucking full auto and they're blasting, and you have to be that hand on the shoulder and go, listen mate, that's not the done thing. You shouldn't have to do that to guys that have been in the sport for 6 months, a year, 2 years.
Yeah.
Some guys are doing it and they're 10 years. Pineapple, damn.
Bro, you can't do this to me while I'm in this state, man. It's not good for my heart.
Pineapple.
You shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to fucking handhold guys. We expect. I think we probably have got higher
expectations. One of those coffees.
We've got higher expectations, whereas we expect people to play against us the way we would play against them.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
It's not elitist. It's not differentiating a speed softer to somebody with H. I know HPA guys, gas guys. I know AAG guys that all play the game the same way. They play it. They don't just go, I've got 1,000 rounds. I'll just hose the area down to keep you where you are. I also know guys that play with mid caps and they'll play with low caps. 32 rounds in a fucking mag. MP7s, prime example. TM MP7. You could go to Splatoon and absolutely body with an MP7 and have a total of maybe 300-400 rounds on you against somebody who's got like 2 or 3 mags. And you can
again, because it's gas, mate. You're like, one round at a time. You can't do that quick, because it just doesn't cycle that fast.
That's the difference. You expect somebody to play an area to go in, take a corner, have an angle, take the corner, pie an angle, clear a room, put a bang in first. If you've got somebody who's just going to stand there and go like a Robson,
spray and pray.
So how about you then, John? What's obviously I know you've recently moved. What's the score for you for next year then, airsoft wise?
Moving again.
Yeah.
Guess where he's going to move to. Guess where he's moving to.
Hopefully end of Feb. Yeah. Well, until I found out.
Where are you moving, John? Where are you moving?
I'm reconsidering now.
Tell the people where you're moving, John.
No,
where are you moving to? Whose hometown are you moving to?
That's an unconfirmed location, mate. It's an unconfirmed
John's moving
location.
For protection. John's moving to my fucking gaff for protection for his old
potentially.
Listen,
I'm coming to take over, man. That area needs some class. It will happen. Be honest. Sunday school, mate. So yeah, but other than that, no, I want to do. I'm with Robson, mate. I think the Milsim scene's a little bit dead at the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna fucking.
John, what if there was a two-man thing that the THG might have been doing potentially?
What?
Then?
Oh yeah, the long gun game. Yeah, what's going on? Yeah.
What if there was theoretically?
I mean, I'm waiting for it. It's only been about 18 years.
Anybody,
18 and a half.
18 and a half.
Anybody you want to do it with, John?
Not really.
Do you want me to screenshot your fucking messages?
I mean, there was always the talks that me and you would fucking go and tear some new arseholes, wouldn't there? But we're still waiting.
I think, honestly, John, we could fucking, apart from the people that Tim knows and Richie knows, the reconnoiter people, for the uneducated, reconnoiter.
Mm-hmm. I only know people in the fruit aisle.
The thing is, John, me and you are not going to be running NV. We're not going to be running thermal. We are going testing the wind, throwing grass up, eating dirt, shitting each other.
Yeah. Raw. Just biting into raw fish like Bear Grylls.
Shitting each other and coming out like commando. All covered in fecal matter.
We'll come out shell
bags and all sorts.
Twitch it with Badger's head. Look, on my fucking. Kind of fucking.
Comes out with a pet raccoon under his arm.
Yeah.
Me and John have been fucking skinning and boning animals for 2 days.
John was just skinning.
I wouldn't put it past boning animals either of you.
We're ready.
Yeah, well, it's definitely something me and Tim have spoke about. Obviously, it's been a long time coming, but we, as we've always said, with Quarry being the way it is in the winter, it's not for the faint-hearted. I know you boys wouldn't batter an eyelid, but
yeah, exactly.
we have to tailor to the lesser talented.
Fuck them pussy-holes.
I think
Yeah.
also, mate.
That's the motto, man. Fuck, get good.
GGC, mate.
Get good.
GGC, innit? Get good.
But I think at the same time, you've got to take in the setup, where it is, the amount of people. I know.
It's brilliant.
There's a, it's not as simple as going, we'll put an event on, right? We put a lot of fucking thought into what we're trying to achieve, and that comes first, and the people come first, and everything else over. Fuck it, let's just slap something on. Like me and Richard were reading some of the shit that we've been sent over the last week. Oh yeah, we come out of the fucking gates, killing it this year. We've done big things. We've done this. We've done that. When me and Richie sit back on some of the comments that have been put out by like fucking airsoft companies, we think, mate, you put on shit. You done nothing. You had fucking 30, 40 people turn up to an event. We done one event, our first event, and 130 people there.
Can you please just go everywhere in life now dressed like that?
I know. It's
everywhere.
Board meetings, as much as I want to give that the precedent that it deserves, but Tim, being a serious individual, like talking to the camera, dressed up in, honestly, I couldn't give a fuck what you were saying. I couldn't take it.
Amazing.
Yeah, well, for fuck's sake.
It's literally, it's like he was fucking Boris Johnson doing fucking PM's questions.
Might as well be. I'll take him more seriously.
You're fucking right,
Yeah.
But we do take this shit seriously. We're trying to put on like the event you mentioned. That's a serious thing.
Every live
yeah, I mean, it's going to be a little bit more in depth than your ruckuses. You know what I mean? There's a lot more organisation that has to go into that because it's not just going to be like get hit, roll in, roll out of the safe zone.
A ruckus event is better run, more well organised, better marshalled. The gameplay is better. The rules they adhere to a better style of gameplay than any other skirmish or milsim that's been run in and around that area, my area, and north, which is why people fucking travel for them.
Yeah.
A milsim, people even now, Stirling don't do milsims. They do what is it they call it? Fucking military themed games.
Combat mission.
Combat fucking Vans t-shirts and micro scooters. Who cares? Just fucking if you want to run an event at a certain level, run it that way. You boys set your stall out and you go, come down, and it's big boys rules. We'll run an event where everybody can get their fucking rocks off, enjoy themselves. There's no sort of fucking restrictions in terms of what you can do apart from don't be a cunt. That's it.
Yeah.
The stipulation. And there's
no other skirmishes anywhere. No other milsims, no other day events about.
What about like? Do you think there's an opening in the market, and this is just testing the water for right? I don't want to say themed events, but like not themed events. That's the wrong word. Like scenario based events. So if you said like, obviously, I say like the two man event, like long gun event. Sniper spotter or sniper marksman, whatever you want to do. I can't really go into what that's going to involve because it's just you two left out for advantage. But let's say a scenario where like HRT, right? Like you've got to go in, you have a set time to grab this HVT or something. Do you know what I mean? Or this hostage. Do you think that's something that's could be done? Is on the cards, or is it is it old hat? Is it?
There's absolutely room in the market for somebody to have a fluid brief for their events. Somebody who doesn't pigeonhole herself into one type of event, i.e. we're going to run a battle sim, we'll run a 12 hours, or we'll run a mil sim where everybody goes to bed at 10 at night and wakes up at 6 in the morning.
Well, you can stop that right there. I heavily object.
Look what you've done.
Yeah, object all you want. If I
object all you want, you're a fucking pineapple.
If I pay a lot of fucking pennies to come to your event, and 12 people on a certain side decide we're tired and we're going to my bed, and you tell me I've got to go to my bed as well, I'm going to tell you either go and fuck yourself or give me my money back. I paid for a fucking experience. I want that experience, especially if I'm traveling 4, 5, 6 hours, 7 hours around the country for said experience. Because somebody thinks, oh, I don't really want to get shot at 3 in the morning. Fuck you, fuck your mum.
Yeah, but wait, hey, mate, I'm telling you, mate, honestly,
I hope your fucking grand gets cancer.
You might not believe this as young as this pretty face looks. Mate, I've been playing since 2003, and the trajectory is literally, it went up and peaked about 5-6 years ago, and that slowly it's just declined. Like 5-6 years ago, you had a lot of people that would stay out, like no matter what. And now, slowly, event after event, those people get fewer and fewer. Stamper, for example, a couple of years ago, like I was on the opposite team to these boys, and I was one of 4 people on my team that was still out. And pretty much the only people out on their team was there, what was there, 8 of you, I think, wasn't there?
Something like that, mate, yeah.
And we were literally just about to have
just the elitist, John, the people with money to run the 12 grand odds.
In a building contested, yeah, and they called Index. And we were like, well, hold on a minute. Like, we are still playing. But by then, we realised like it was fucking dead.
We ended up in the same building. I remember that. We were literally we was just about to have a right good dust up, mate.
We were about to have a fucking naughty one, which was what we'd been waiting for. It'd been dead for about an hour.
Yeah.
But you have them moments in Milsim. Milsim ain't like, if you want trigger time, do a skirmish. You know what I mean? You expect to pull your trigger at least like a few times, right? But you can't expect constant trigger time. If there's a lull in a firefight for an hour, you kind of take that in its stride. A lot of these cunts these days just go, oh, fuck this, I'm packing up and going home, like it's shit. So, no, mate, like, you just got to get your head around the fact that there's lulls in action.
But people get upset, John, if people get rolled over too many times early on in an event, it puts their head down. And the thing I see at the end of the day, nobody's going there for that. It's not fucking real life. Do you know what I mean? Nobody's doing 6-month tours. Nobody's getting fucking actually shot at. You go there, you pay your money, you pick your side, and you roll with that event for 24, 36 hours. That's what you expect. Which it doesn't always happen. But as I say, with the events like Ruckus events and probably Terry's last event, the SEO event, where it was a rolling up and all day and all night, we were in contact, constant getting bumped. Day and night, there was no downtime at all, which is what I expect. If I go for a 36-hour event, I want to come back from there absolutely dreading the drive home, cunted.
Shagged, absolutely, covered in shit, falling asleep, mate.
And being battered. I want to come away from that event and go, oh, I'm fucked. But I tell you what a good weekend. I've thoroughly enjoyed that. And you know what? I couldn't tell the last time I did.
You are though, sadly, like. And I just will put this out there, you are the 0.5% majority. And that is, annoyingly, the demographic that Richie falls in.
Yeah, you boys are in that. You boys are in that as well. That's why
John
we have such a
Robson,
high expectation.
All of the people that we roll with are in that expectation of I used to love coming back from the valley. And Monday, I would hurt in every way, shape or form. Or also,
legs fucked.
That cold, that and I can't describe this, but someone else might be able to. But that, when you get cold to the point where it takes a few days to warm up, like you can have a hot shower, you can put a dressing gown on, you can put your slippers on, you can have a hot cup of tea. That cold that just doesn't go for a few days, like it takes a few days to settle, where you slept on a hard fucking frozen floor on the Welsh hillside. Like, for me, I get that. I would love that. But I'm telling you now, you put half of these cunts that have got a team because tack belts have given them a patch in that scenario, mate, and they are going to be running home for hot chocolate and their mum's tit quicker than
nowadays. Guys go to Longmoor and get put up in centrally heated accommodation. You go to Longmoor, one of the prime sites in the UK for a Milsim event. You go to Longmoor and you're on Op 4 or you're on Task Force. You get put up in centrally heated accommodation toilets, shower. I mean, who the fuck pays to? I mean, we've had this conversation multiple times about when my boys went and I wasn't there, and I was like, get outside, put a basher up against the house. Like, what do you mean? I've got a bed. I've got a toilet. I was like, if I am paying that money, I want an experience. You can't pump the house at night. You can't contact. There's no sentries. There's no stags. There's no perimeter security.
Mate, we've been to Milsims when the fucking marshals have ordered players pizza.
It's like, a lot has changed, mate.
Oh yeah, come and huddle round the fire, lads. Like, you're just.
I mean, if they were ordering hot wings, this guy would be on it.
God of hot wings.
I've definitely had pizza and wings at a Milsim. Just saying.
Well, listen, I've never done anything like that.
Yeah, but were you the marshal and did you order it, or did you just go?
No, this geezer that we know called Jamaican Dave went and picked him up. He was an arsehole.
He was one of them. A lot's changed, mate. A lot has changed over what 8 years, 5 years, and they're not, mate. Like, it's too softly now.
Do we expect too much?
Good question.
Honestly, mate, we do ask this question a lot because you think, well,
but I said that earlier. I don't think so because we have had it. I mean, I'm not. We've had it like over the last sort of like 3 or 4 years. We've all said it. It's like it's getting worse. So we have had it. I'm not saying we expect it to be perfect every fucking time because it's not. You know what I mean?
No.
Yeah.
Like plan A always fails.
No.
Plan A always fails. But in the same breath, like you want to see a bit. I feel like it's at
the point now where the priority is on the people who don't want to do the hard work. They get precedent over the guys who want an experience.
Oh, do you know what, mate? I am, and me and Richie spoke about this a while back. I said I'm 100% with you. When a company started saying, right, well, we'll cap it because a lot of the guys want to go to bed, that was my enthusiasm done. You know, guys don't want to get hit in their bed, so look, we're going to call it about 2-3 o'clock. The annoying thing is me and Richie were at an event that we travelled a fucking long way for, and we've done the usual shit. We went out, we were out for the night time, we come back in. Me and Richie are sort of bouncing around, can of go-go juice. We're ready to go. And we went into the ops room and said, what do you want us to do?
Some mushrooms.
What's the next hit? Where do we go? And they were like, oh, yeah, everyone's in bed. And Richie's looked at me and I've looked at him and I was like, what the fuck do you mean? It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. We want to go and slap some cunts. We're up. We're ready to go. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I think that they said, night changed everything. Me and Richie sat and had a chat around the fireplace. We were ready to go. And I mean, and that changed everything for me. That one night, and they said to me the following morning, oh, how's your weekend, mate? Blah, blah, blah. And I went, you know what, mate? What a fucking waste of a 6.5 hour drive. Never again. Never fucking again. I was bitter as shit.
You can imagine how that went down.
Yeah. Even if I mean, you boys have got, I mean, I've seen.
Well, Alice.
Well, let me tell you this.
I know your two's night vision capabilities. I'm not a nods user. You two have got the capability to basically turn fucking night into day, which I've tested at the quarry. But even so, if I was at an event and it gets dark, it doesn't mean I switch off. I'm not going to go into Mong mode, irrespective of what you have, which makes it even worse because if I was you, you've made the investment, you've spent the time. I know you two boys have been running MG for a number of years. A big draw for you to go to an overnight event is you have your nap you have your day shenanigans, you have your dinner, you have your nap, your sort of late afternoon sleep because you plan on
rest the knees.
You plan on being up.
Have a little hug.
You plan on being up during the dark hours. You want to be active from 11 till 4 as a minimum because that's where you go. I've spent my money on this bit of kit. I want to use that against people who either do or don't have it. I want to make the most of that. I mean, you go to an event and somebody goes, oh, no. You can't go out of those hours. You go, why the fuck am I here? I'm getting
Yeah, I mean, but people do think that we turn up just for the night time. I mean, people think we just they don't even go out during the day. Like, but, you know, obviously, John was there at the last SEO. Do you know what I mean? We was out on pretty much every. I know we had a little.
Yeah.
We had a. I did the old steak rolls for me and Tim, and we had a little afternoon nap. But
was Tim not a machine gunner? Tim was a machine gunner for a period of time.
He was a machine gunner.
You can wind them
accusations.
He was on the M93259864389Z35W.
I have no idea, mate. Listen, I stood up. John was a medic, and when I needed to be medicked, John medicked me, and they didn't have an issue with it.
John putting tampons up your arse does not count as a medic job.
It does. It does. I checked.
It absolutely does. 100%. I'm with John, mate.
You didn't have to eat them afterwards. You didn't have to eat them afterwards. There was no requirement for that. It didn't get you back in the game any quicker.
Listen,
It
they
put a spring in
complain.
his step, man. I'm telling you.
I was getting
It
medicked.
went. Boom! It was a reflex.
Richie, who's built like a flump?
Listen,
I don't know who that is. I'd love to know who that is.
Mate, honestly,
Hobbit.
when you went to put that message, I could not believe that was you. I looked
It
at the
looked
face
like,
and I was like,
mate, the way he
looks
was
like
standing,
Robson's
it
had a
looked like
stroke.
someone had like pulled his spine through his arsehole.
I just like that's got to be so painful, mate. To try and stand like that. How?
But yeah.
Pushing that belly button so far away from your asshole must be painful.
I love it how Stephen said Tim was a non-hit taker on that day. He knows the story.
Well, used to
My Maverick boys.
Used to are famous non-hit takers, aren't you? Every event I've been to, you two have not taken any hits.
Fucking
Yeah.
You turn up there with a target on your
Come
arse.
up with a hot gun and you don't take your own hits. I mean,
It's
come
like
on.
it's like turning up to an event and being accused of not being able to, you know, select which fire mode you want on your gun, eh, Rich? That's a lot.
I remember shooting Richie at Ruckus
Yeah,
and he never took his hits, and he tried to tell me he was a marshal.
The high vis.
To be fair, he had
Even
two
come over to me,
radios,
Winks went,
two
"Are you a
radios,
marshal?" I
headset
went,
and a
"Well, I
high
can
vis
be."
on. At the first Ruckus, I was in a fucking dip, covered in mud and shite. I was in Brooks's boys. I was in a dip like that. I was fucking like, you two, on me. I was trying to get, like, calling in some shit. And Richie stood at the top and I thought, do you know what, Richie? Fuck you. Listen, fuck you. I'm piss wet through. You stood there with your two radios, laughing at my misfortune, knowing what I'm going to go over that hill to because there's like fucking 47 guys over there. He's just like, oh, there's a guy down here. There's a fat Scottish guy.
Didn't I look after you? I looked after you, mate. You went.
No, you looked over me, getting shot in the face multiple
I was
times.
like, "There's a Scottish prick."
No, to be
There he
fair, I remember getting one. I remember getting one pat on the back. I made a little fucking sneaky move, dropped 5 or 6 pods, pushed down, and I remember coming back, and I was in the tree line, and you went, and I went, I've made it. I've made it. I've absolutely made it. Richie went. I got the blue steel for Richie, like dual comms. He went.
It was when Winks went. I swear my tag round at him. I mate, honestly, it's bullshit. My tag round at him. I went, nah, mate, he's definitely short.
That was Rage. Me and Rage. We were a tag team. I had all his rounds in my back, and I'm like, Rage, 11 o'clock, pub. And it was his first time using a tag launcher, and the first one went about.
Yeah, and he can't tell the time.
Yeah, mate, Rage went about 12
Which
meters.
way?
And Brooksy was. I remember Brooksy waving back at us, going, "No mass, no mass." Oh, it's fucking jokes, man.
Yeah,
I'm just going to release it.
We will work on another Ruckus. I mean, you know, we to this day, you know, Chloe, Jack, the Rag lot. You know, there's a lot of teams that attended those days. You know, all the guys from Gravy Seals, your boys, Winks. Like, there's a lot of big teams that have said to us, "Fucking hell, like we have not had an event like that ever." You know, and to this day haven't had it. You know,
do you know weirdly? Do you know I've only had 3 boys there. I've had 3 boys there,
but likewise, mate. You know, they had a belt in time because let's face it, mate. The ones that come away that went, oh, that was wicked. We loved it. We had such a good time. It's because those were the teams that were at the front, like getting stuck in. Do you know what I mean? It's always the way, mate. Always the way. The ones that are at the front have the best time.
Yeah, and Richie, you know, me and you had some curveballs planned for people at that event, and I'm really glad that 99.9% of people sucked it up and got on with it. You know, Ruckus and Noir was going to be very much the same, but at night, sadly, because Mike Marden's just put in about Ruckus Noir, and I think
everyone's ethos,
we were in the middle of in the southeast.
Sorry, but I can't shoot my own team. Not about that.
Yeah, no, I mean whatever.
I'm a better person than that.
Yeah, but Robson melted from that as well, didn't he?
Noir.
Come on, Parky. Fuck the two of them. Fucking mushroom.
Didn't want the smoke, mate.
But you know, Noir was fully going ahead. We were in
George,
the
can
middle
you
of
imagine getting to the end of that and being the last man standing that night, that day? Can you imagine being the last person standing? How cool would that have been to be the last man after that?
I mean, where is the trophy? I'm just saying, where is it, Wings?
Mate. I saw a bit of cheating going on.
Who got the trophy?
I'm not bitter or anything.
Who got the trophy?
Oh, well, John apparently is getting it. John's going to have it from you, Winks. So once you lose to John.
It's in my loft. It's actually trying to place under my deflated the Heresy group cock.
You need to get a patch on that, mate. Speak the tack belts.
But
I've got
we'll work on Noir.
He's an easy person.
You know, a lot of people have said about that. Noir will work on it. We just, you know, fuel crisis, COVID, all that shit.
Yeah.
Like, we'll work on Noir. Noir will happen. It will be Ruckus at night. No holes barred. No shit. Pyro fucking rules. You know, no issues with people sneaking around and clapping people. You know, no problems on weights of BBs or nothing like that. It will be traditional THG Ruckus fucking Noir rules. You know, go out, enjoy yourself, have fun.
But likewise, mate, I think, you know, we definitely still want to do that. But I think we have got a lot of other stuff in the pipeline, right? That's I think personally, I mean, Tim might disagree with me, but I think it's going to be better and much cooler, I think.
Cooler? Yeah, there's some fucking legit shit.
Noir's a niche thing.
It is a niche, mate. It is. Whereas the other stuff is, you know, I think anyone can get stuck into.
I tell you what, I'm going to put this.
As long as you've got a DMR.
Anybody in the chat, the four faces who this beautiful little man here, this beautiful bit of fruit, and this pikey bastard who I've got a lot of time for.
Don't talk about Tim like that, mate. That's bang out of order.
That's fucking well out of order.
Any of you
I can't help it how I was born,
if any of you can see to me right now that there would be a better day that if the WhatsApp chat or the group of boards that we know rocked up to any skirmish site, Saturday, probably Sunday site, sort of not unannounced, but listen, we're a team going to come through. Who would enjoy that more than any event that they've been to for the rest of the year? Irrespective of who's running what event. I reckon there's probably 12 to maybe 15 tops of us ish.
Yeah.
Given that WhatsApp and extended groups.
I've just realised that Stephen Dunn's photo is of me when I turned up to Splatoon dressed as an emo and had to pay to get in.
What, in disguise?
Did anyone see that?
Yeah, in disguise, yeah.
Yeah, so I turned up in disguise and just went up to random people getting photos, and I had this emo haircut.
Do you know the woman who does the outfits in The Incredibles? The little short woman with the black hair.
Oh my god, darling!
Oh my god, darling! Oh, it's so spectacular.
He looks like the woman that was married to fucking Roy for Coronation Street. Is it Haley? Haley something?
Haley?
She was a geezer as well. All right. Oi, do you want to see me, dick?
He's like, I'm proper fit. I'm proper feminine.
Right, Tim.
Feminine, got hands like bricklayer.
I've got about 8% battery, mate, so I might have to bounce in a second.
We'll wrap
you do
this
this
up
thing again when you say I can't take my headset out because I can't charge my phone and the audio goes. Do you know the only reason I know, Richie? I literally over the last 3 days I've watched last year's Christmas stream. What a fucking honestly, last year's Christmas stream was absolute jokes, man. I mean, fucking primo.
I feel we've been very reserved. I think we've done well.
Yeah, 100%.
Other than Parky getting his dick out.
Apart from seeing a real small penis.
All your money from YouTube. All your money from YouTube is getting held back.
Done, mate. We're off. We're kicked.
We're all helmet that boy, isn't it?
You'll get one strike for that. Full male nudity.
Can somebody, Mondo, if you can
Can
hear
it be
me,
classed as male?
Mondo,
No.
I don't know, mate. It's very small.
Mondo, pour yourself a massive glass of port or a massive glass of whiskey and down it. Because see if you don't, see when I come to Andover next year and me and you have a proper drink, I'm going to absolutely fucking destroy you.
Where's my invite, by the way?
See, Mondo, mate, he talks big on screen, but when he's there, he's just a soft little pussy cat.
Can you make that happen then? Can you two fucking maniacs here, do you want to come to Andover? It's about an hour and a quarter.
That's a shithole.
It is. But listen,
don't you know, Timmy? Don't leave Fanit, mate.
Listen. Mondo's got a Thai wife. Richie, Mondo's got a Thai wife.
You rang?
Right. Richie, you're driving. I'm shotgun.
Listen, let's get to Andover. Let's have a fucking boys' night in Mondo's gaff and go absolutely fucking ham.
Right.
We all need to bring one of these.
Yeah, I'm about that life.
Mate,
Bulldozer
do you know
put in.
Since this platoon game, I promise you, I've been looking at shotties on the Discord and WhatsApp groups.
Mate, that thing racked up some fucking kills in that night game, mate. That was
£50. A £50 Springer shotgun.
Listen to it, mate.
Yeah, that's what I mean. People were getting hit by it.
It's horrible.
They were walking off with their heads down. Like, did I just get hit
fucking
by
Springer shotgun was dropping people. £50 Springer.
£50.
Yeah, absolutely wasted.
Some people might say, Richie, it's your best ever game, and you wasted so much money with camo.
Sorry, you broke up there, mate. I didn't hear that. Sorry.
Chip. Sorry.
I never heard of him.
Give your Chip. Go.
Dave, custom airsoft.
I fucking love you lot. Right, I'll tell you what we're going to do then, boys. Let's wrap up. Winks, thank you so much. John, fucking thank you so much. Parky, thank you for sharing everything you have with the world. Paul, you're still the handsomest person I've ever met. All the rest of the boys that are at Jordan's.
Fuck that guy.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
the handsomest person you've ever met.
No, mate.
Fuck off, mate. You're like Gerard Butler off Wish.
Yeah, you're like Gerard Butler with a bad crack addiction.
It's better than Urban Reaper on fucking Metaball.
I fucking love you lot. Merry Christmas.
Yes.
I hope you all had a good time.
Cheers,
Richie,
boys.
thank you.
Love you
Thanks
lots,
a lot, boys.
John, thank you so much, mate. Cheers,
Nice,
everyone.
nice one for having me. Later,
See you
boys.
motherfuckers in 2022. Peace out.
Peace.
Bye.
Get rid of me. Get rid of me.